Hello, hello, hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Oh no, we're echoing. Hello. What's up I always do that. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see ya. What is up? Stone Rain Productions. Matt, how are you? Helen Chrome, welcome. Dandy Flaws, welcome to the Fishbowl. And Eagle, welcome you as well. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. I know, it's Toxic Tuesday. Oh, Philly was a blast. It was super fun. I got to meet a ton of people that I'd never met before, a lot of fans. It was super cool. We got to jam a ton of games. I had a blast. I saw there was like some criticism of it on the Magic Reddit. Snowfizz and Maddie Madsen, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. And Elf, the hype train is running. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. I saw there was some criticism of it on the Reddit. There was a big post about like how some people had a bad experience. I thought it was good. I know my experience is probably unique because it's easy for me to get games or whatever because people know me, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. My big criticism with Vegas was there was no free play room. And here there was tons of free play space. I could jam games with people without paying for the command zone, which was really cool. So I don't know. Like, yes, it is expensive. Just like getting a ticket's expensive. I played with someone who was selling beers at the concession stand, and it was like little cans of beer for $12 or something. So everything, of course, like any convention, was super costly. But I don't know. I thought it was very good. Elementalist, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Hey, what's up, Dandy Floss? How are you? Good to see you. I don't know why it does that. It seems like every stream Streamlabs just like doesn't work. Let me see if sometimes if I refresh it, it starts working. But anyway, we have a ton to talk about today. Magic-wise, we're going to play some Toxic. We got a couple different standard Toxic decks. I really want to try this Golgari one with Tyver. It looks very interesting. So we're playing not like combo-y Toxic. We're playing straight up play Toxic creatures, attack you, maybe proliferate a bit Toxic decks in standard. So that's the plan for the day as far as decks. But we have so much Magic news. I do not know what's going on in the Magic world. So obviously we can talk about Philly as we go along. It was super fun. If you met me there, thank you so much for saying hi. Glad to meet all of you. Sindora Caracas, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. We also got a ton of March of the Machine spoilers. Like, this set's ridiculous. It's War of the Spark take 2, but this time with legendary creatures, except they mash the legendary creatures together. So rather than being separate, they're combined into 2 cards. What do you think of these tag team cards? Or double up, whatever we're calling these cards. Game Boy Wolf, welcome to the Fishbowl. First time sub, big soup cheer for you. Thank you. What do you think of these cards? Like, I've heard some people don't like them. They are weird. They do all look like custom Magic cards. I will grant you that. Like, I actually saw there's like a custom Magic subreddit where people post their custom cards. There was literally a card called Thalion the Gitrog Monster from like a year ago. Not exactly the same abilities, but pretty close. Very curious what people think. Like, are these cards good? Are they cringy? Are they cool? Personally, I like them. I think they're neat. Yes, it's a little goofy to see them mashed together. It's kind of a silly idea. That much is true, but the cards look fun to play with. It's a bunch of iconic characters that people love. Chimiko, Game Boy Wolf, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you, Lucid, you as well with a gift sub to Wordless Rager. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. I mean, I don't know. To me, I think if you want a hot take, and I don't even know if this is hot, I think this is going to be one of those sets that is a seminal moment in Magic. We've had a few sets. So if I was going to think about in the time I've been like really following Magic, I think Innistrad was one of those sets that really changed things. It was just beloved and awesome. The original Innistrad, like a decade ago. I think that War of the Spark was one of those sets with the theme. It was just this huge boom. Everyone was super hyped for it. I think our first Return to Dominaria was a little bit like that as well. This, I think, is going to be one of those sets. I think this is going to be one of those sets that when we're talking about this in the future, people are going to speak reverently about how amazing, how amazing March of the Machines was and what the just like the cards and the stories and the characters. I think this is going to go down as one of the great, yes, it's an envelope pushing flavor and power level wise. So far, it looks like, at least, style is that. I think this is going to be huge. I think we're going to look at this as one of the best sets, one of the best sets that we've had in Magic. Like, I have very high hopes. How now, Baron Cow and Dragon Archmage, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. I'm glad the streak is not broken. What's the possibility of getting out to the West Coast for Oakland or Tacoma later this year? Ooh, I will have to look into it. I don't have any more events on the schedule yet, but I will see what I can do about getting to the West Coast. Hey, good to see you out now, Brown Cow. So anyway, we can talk about all this as we go along. Like, we haven't heard about battles yet. We don't know what they do. We know we're getting one in every pack, but look at this set. Like, Corrupted Omnath, Yargle Returns, Corrupted Heliod, all these matchup legends, Fairy Mastermind. This card's ridiculous. Like, this card seems like, wow, like that card's going to be a commander staple, and I think this is potentially like legacy playable, modern playable. We got the Praetors coming back in their original forms, flipping into sagas. I don't know what to say about this set. Like, it is absolutely off the charts. So on top of that, that's not all the news though, and we'll talk more about this as we go along. Just today, a couple of minutes ago, Wizards announced Commander Masters is coming this summer. I don't know why we need Commander Masters, because literally every Master set is Commander Masters at this point, but this is a Commander-focused Master set. We know that there is Jewel Lotus in the set. We know that there's Ur-Dragon. You're getting all the special treatments. Capture of Jinghao coming back for the first time ever. I believe it's being reprinted. There's also precons. There's going to be new cards in these decks, which I don't know how you print new cards in a Master set, but whatever, we'll let that slide. There's going to be a Sliver precon deck, so that's coming this summer, full-on Commander Masters, and we got a bit of news about the Lord of the Rings set. That's going to be coming very soon. So there is just a ridiculous amount going on. What do y'all think of Commander Masters? Is that something that, does that get you hyped? Are Master sets still exciting at this point? Or there just been too many of them? Unrivaled Aesthetic, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the gift sub to Nukified. Thank you so much. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, the reprints are going to be great, right? Like, I am hyped to getting more of these cards out in the wild. So that's cool. I don't know. I guess I'm excited about it. It'll be interesting to see what a Commander precon deck for a Master set looks like. That's something we've never seen before. Probably going to be expensive, I assume, but hopefully they'll be worth it. Kind of like, hopefully these are like the Warhammer decks. If they're like the Warhammer decks, it'll be worth it. Photography, welcome to the Fishbowl. First colorless precon, Sliver precon, which is going to, people love slivers. That's going to be a huge one. Probably a Super Friends precon, and then some sort of Enchantress precon. Wow, 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 wow. Hey, what's up, Billy? How are you? Anyway, we'll talk about all this as we go along. We'll talk about March of the Machines. We'll talk about Commander Legends. Commander Legends, Commander Masters. We'll talk about Philly, all that stuff. Let's do our reminders. Talk about this deck. Oh yes, there's also, that was the other thing. Yeah, it never ends. Today's also Alchemy spoiler day, which who cares about that? But it is Shadows over Innistrad remastered preview start day. So we're getting new stuff that we need for Explore. Thing in the Ice, that is a huge one. The issue, here's the problem. So Thing in the Ice is a key piece, or was a key piece. It still shows up sometimes to Phoenix decks and Pioneer. The problem is we still don't have the Delve cards. There's no Treasure Cruise, which is probably the biggest missing piece from these decks, but that's a very Pioneer playable card. Relentless Dead, a key zombie card. We have Sigarda's Aid, which is actually maybe going to make Hammer Time a possibility on Arena for the first time ever, because that's one of the biggest missing pieces. So that's also coming. That's releasing in about a month. There is so much going on in Magic today. Like, it is ridiculous how much is happening. Krusty back! It is perpetual spoiler season. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Honestly, like, if I have a criticism, and I am so hyped for March of the Machines, like I said, I really truly think this is going to be one of those huge sets, a War of the Spark set, an Innistrad set, like one of those just like, boom, everyone wants this set. Like, I have very high hopes. I will say that spoiling it during the finals of the first returning Paper Pro Tour was very disappointing. Like, literally at the same time, Reed Duke was playing in the finals of the Pro Tour. Everyone loves Reed Duke. He's trying to win his first Pro Tour ever. As that's happening, they're also doing this panel where they're previewing March of the Machines. Everyone cares about March of the Machines. The set is super hyped. So I feel like they really kind of overshadowed the Pro Tour, just doing it during the finals. Like, I get it, you want to like capture the hype of the Pro Tour and the MagicCon, all that kind of stuff. That's fine, just don't do it during the finals. Like, you give the Pro Tour a break, let them go have lunch or something, and do the preview stream, and then finish the Pro Tour. Don't do it at the same time and make people choose between the two of them. Speaking of these Explorer releases, do you have a recent video how to get into Moto? Pro Tour made me want to try buying here. There is one from last year, which is still pretty relevant. I don't think anything too major has changed on the YouTube, so I would look that up. Getting started on Magic Online 2022 edition. I'll probably do an update at some point this year, but that one should still have, the information should still be correct enough that it'll be super helpful. Anyway, reminders, replay YouTube, that's how you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future, normal YouTube. Tons of stuff coming up tomorrow. So since I was gone in Philly, we couldn't do an against odds poll, so I decided to pull a rank. I know people have been saying modern, like we got to do more modern, and I agree. So tomorrow's against the odds. We're doing more Elish Norning, but Elish Norn in modern. So first modern against the odds with Elish Norn with Phyrexia cards. So that's going to be a sweet one. That one's coming up tomorrow. So check that out on the YouTube. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Even get a free goldfish sticker. Actually, I got to check on that. Someone told me that their last couple orders, they hadn't got goldfish stickers. As far as I know, if you ask for a goldfish sticker, you'll still get one, but I'm gonna have to double check and make sure that they're not out of stock or something. But thank you so much to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Hey, morning, Yuki, how are you? Otherwise, merch page, tokens, t-shirts, playmats, good ways to support the stream and the channel and the site. Donations always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. We need an off-color counter spells ATO. Ooh, yeah, that would be a fun one. I do want to do that one. Give the people what they want. Legacy Pox. I'm intimidated by playing. Oh, the other big news, and this is huge. Oh man, this is bigger than March of the Machines, bigger than Commander Masters, bigger than MagicCon Philly. Wizards also announced today that they're gonna give us the ability to choose our basic lands finally. So they're actually updating Arena so you can like essentially favorite a version of a card. So if you it's gonna be so awesome. So you can choose your favorite swamp or whatever, and when you create a new deck, it'll default to that swamp rather than having to scroll through a million swamps to find the one that you want or the newest one you got from the store. And it's gonna be like that for other cards as well. So you can choose like what edition of your, I don't know, which of your 20 duresses you actually want to have be the default version, or which card style version you want. So I think that's actually a really nice little upgrade too. That's something I'm excited for. I've been asking about that for a while. So it only took us like 4 years. Yeah, I mean, it should have happened earlier, but we got there. So anyway, let's talk about this deck. So this is our first deck, Golgari Toxic. What is the planet Golgari Toxic? We're trying to poison people. If you look at this deck list, I think this deck is actually very interesting. So we got a bunch of cheap toxic creatures. Blight Belly Rat, our limited all-star. Billows Dweller, Venerated Rot Priest, we've seen that one before. Pestilent Siphoner has flying. Cankerbloom can proliferate. Doesn't technically have toxic, but it does proliferate. We got Necrogen Communion to make anything toxic, giving it toxic 2. When a creature dies, it comes back into play. We got some direct poison counters. So the goal of the deck is get in early poison damage, proliferate with Cankerbloom, proliferate with Bloated Contaminator, and hopefully use that to close out the game. The thing that really sold me on this deck, which I think is interesting, is the Planeswalkers. Tyver is a card that I was hyped for in older formats. In Standard, I was like, I don't know what you do with this, but this is actually a really sneaky way to take advantage of Tyver. It gets back almost every creature in our deck, everything except Bloated Contaminator. It gets back stuff like Cankerbloom to proliferate more, gets back evasive toxic creatures like Pestilent Siphoner or proliferating Blight Belly Rats. So this actually seems like a really good Tyver deck. And then we also got Vraska, which just can proliferate every turn to close out the game. So it's essentially Golgari Toxic Aggro with some really interesting Planeswalker additions. So that's what we're starting with, Golgari Toxic Aggro. We're gonna see how it goes. Yosef, Wam aside, what are your thoughts on the story direction? Wait, what is WOM? The story, I mean, so what do we know about the story direction? As far as I can tell, as far as I can tell, we're like, it's War of the Spark again, right? Like, it's War of the Spark, but it's Phyrexians versus Legends from around the multiverse. We also saw some art, which I think, March of the Machines. I gotcha. We also saw some art that I think describes what battles are. There was some art during the spoiler stream that was different planes. I forget what they were titled. It wasn't Battle For. Was it Fight For? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? But yeah, we also got to see a bit of battle. We don't know what the cards do yet, but it does seem like the battles are going to be like, okay, so the Phyrexians are trying to take over all the planes. Invasion of, that's what it was. So the Phyrexians are trying to take over the multiverse. They're going plane to plane. The Legends are teaming up to try to fight the Phyrexians, and apparently the battles are going to be invasion of Alara, invasion of Lorwyn, invasion of, like, choose a plane, Zendikar, and that's what the battles are going to be, is going to show this fight between the good guys and the Phyrexians trying to save the world. And then we know Aftermath is going to show the aftermath of this battle. Like, we know the Kenris die because they spoiled that. So I mean, I think where we're heading in the short term story-wise is very exciting. Long term, I don't know what this means. Like, I don't know what is the aftermath of this. I've heard some really ridiculous. Ooh, the Phyrexians are the good guys? Wait, really? How does that work? Wall of Chaos. Do you think Flibblethip and Rakdos would be working together? What plane is Flibblethip from? Can we get a Flibblethip? What mashup do you want the most? I think that's another good question. Magical Whale, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup tier for you. Thank you. Hey Seth, happy got to play Commander against you. I played the Rhoda Intimid deck. Hey, yeah, that was a very impressive deck. You made me respect that Commander pair. I did not realize how much that could go off, but wow, does that get big very quickly. Norin Flibblethip mashup would be hilarious. Flibblethip Niv Mizzet. Oh, that could be a sweet one. Sand is a lot of proliferate. If we can get in a poison counter, we can do some proliferating. Well, Billow is Queldeller. Swamp, go. We need to get that first poison counter, though, to turn on essentially the rest of our hand. Opponent, go for the throat. Oh, opponent. Oh, Grixis. Fable of the Mia Breaker. Oh, this is so sad. Oh, my God. This is the worst. Okay. Ways to proliferate. Yoda Man, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Should we proliferate this? Is it correct to proliferate? Our opponent will have one less card in hand to loot away, but then they get the reflection faster. I mean, the upside is they have one less card to loot. Yeah, all right, we won't do it. I know, doesn't it? Like, I feel like this deck really needs that first poison counter. Because we have, look at our hand. Proliferate. But all of that is grizzly bears if we can't get in that first poison counter. Well, how about a Canker Blue? Opponent. Also, apparently in Standard, apparently just Grixis is playing for Atraxis now. I don't know if you saw that. Apparently Atraxa is literally just taking over the world. There was like opponent, Siphon Insight, sure. I was looking at the standard challenge from the weekend. I was like, oh, 4-color mid-range. That sounds kind of interesting. What is 4-color mid-range? Oh, it's literally just Rakdos. Like all the good traditional Rakdos. Except we're playing 4 Atraxas, which we can either reanimate with Cruelty or just cast off of Treasure Mana. Apparently Atraxa is that good that you will like triple splash it in a Rakdos deck. What a world we live in. What a world. Opponent. Yeah, Siphoning Insight again. At least our cards should not be very good for our opponent. What do you think about Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord in the new Galta in Pioneer or Explorer? Ooh. Boy, this does not feel good. I feel like we are in a really bad spot here. Wait, why do you have an issue with one with the multiverse? So could the new Galta work in I guess we just got to kill this. Yeah, blow up the reflection. Could the new Galta work in Explorer or Pioneer with Sorin? So I think the challenge is going to be the colors. Like, it is a really sweet finisher. It's huge. It is a vampire, which is necessarily... Wait, what are we getting punted for? I just don't know if a vampire deck is going to want to be playing a double white, double green card. Normally... Wow, we just cannot do this. Wow, what a horrible draw. Canker Bloom, again. I don't know if it wants to play an uncastable card or try to make the mana to cast it. Like, even though this is huge, is it better than just putting, like, the card draw a 5-drop vampire into play? When you consider the consistency issues, my guess is it'll be funny and fun, and we can definitely, like, do it against the odds or a much brew around it. But I would be surprised if, like, the best versions of Pioneer Vampires are playing Galta and Mavrin. Variant for the 70th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super thank you. Ooh, yeah, I haven't seen Chaotic Transformation into Atraxa yet. I actually made a competitive Cleric deck. The card the Lord searches up is Atraxa. Ooh, that actually makes a lot of sense. That's one of the issues with the Cleric Lord is what are you actually cheating to play? Like Toxrill or Dreadfast Demon, they're okay, but they're not great. Well, we will pass the turn. Opponent. Are you going to kill our Cankerbloom? I have a Trostani Slesian's Voice Commander deck. The new Galta looks perfect for it. Yeah, I think the new Galta, if you're some sort of token commander deck, is really sweet. I don't know. I think there's a chance new Galta could work in Standard. I think what I missed when I first read it that makes it a little better than it looks is its ability. So 7 mana, 12/12 trample. When you attack, you get to get one of its triggers. Either make a big dinosaur or a bunch of little vampires, depending on your board state. When you attack is the key word here. That means you can play this, attack with something else, and still get the trigger. So it kind of does something right away, which makes it so much better. I thought it was when Galta and Mavrin attacked when I first read it. That would be pretty horrible. If it was when Galta and Mavrin attacked, it would be very bad. Are you gonna play Toxic in Pioneer? Ooh, we might play some Pioneer Toxic at some point. I don't know. I wonder if Pioneer Toxic has any chance of working. Opponent. Running out all of our cards that they stole. Passes. My god, we cannot draw land to save our lives. Blightbelly. It's like turn 7 and we still don't have a single poison counter. We have wasted like 5 proliferates or something. This is an embarrassing performance for this deck. What are your thoughts on Venerated Rot Priest in Modern Infect? Opponent. I'm curious. I think people will try it. I haven't really seen... Yeah, I'd love to see your Pioneer Toxic list. Have you gotten to play it, Sir Elks? Opponent hits us to 19. I think the challenge with something like Pioneer Toxic is... Wow, we are getting poisoned. We're the toxic deck, and we have the poison counter. Oh my goodness. All right, boom. Pestilent Siphoner. Still 3 lands. 3 lands out of 17 Magic the Gathering cards. How many steel cards are there are? I think with how many steel cards there are, I think the reprint of a commander land needs to be in Standard Pioneer. I am so confused, Nexus. I am so confused. Has MTG kind of turned into Yu-Gi-Oh! With how every release instantly talks about the next release? Sort of. I don't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh! But that definitely is happening with Magic. Things are happening fast. Infectious Bite's so risky. Wow, opponent is Struggling with the clock. Radioactive in radio. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, what's up, Beast? How are you? Good to see you, good to see you. Let me see Elks. Boom, get in there. We've already wasted so many proliferates. What's one more at this point? Opponent. Yeah, I think one of the challenges for doing like a toxic deck in Pioneer is you just really don't get other poison cards. Like it's basically a block constructed deck in a format that's the size of like old Modern or whatever. Opponent, Rot Priest goes attacking, hits us. Down to 18. Well, at least our opponent hasn't been able to steal good cards from us because all of our 19 cards deep, we find land number 4. We have done it. Took us 19 cards, but we got there. Seed Core. Blight Belly Rat. Now our Blight Belly Rats are sort of real Magic cards. Almost real Magic cards. Blight Belly Rat. Blight Belly Rat. You can play auras that enable it. The new aura that gives Toxic 2 and the Hexproof 1-drop. So let's see. Here's Sir Elk's Pioneer Toxic list. Okay, so this is kind of like a poison control deck. I can see that. So the idea is kind of to try to get the one poison counter with Prologue or with a Void Ring hybrid, and then hopefully proliferate a bunch. That's a fun idea, Sir Elks. I mean, I could see like a proliferate control deck maybe working. I could see something like that being worth trying at least. Opponent Ranger Man in Beef. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have no idea what our opponent's doing. I am very confused. We have run like incredibly badly, but our opponent's doing nothing. So apparently, because our opponent's doing nothing, it's fine that we're running badly. Taco Dad! So many subs today. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Fishbowl for the 3rd month. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Hey, what's up, Bunzo? Good to see you, good to see ya. The Real Salt, another sub. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I don't even know. We did see all the Siphon insights. Like, most of the cards that they've played are from our deck. I don't know what their deck's... Other than trying to take our cards, I don't know what their deck's doing. Garrus for the 76th month. Wow, thank you so much. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Big soup cheer for you. Hope all is well with you, Garrus. That must be it. It's the prime renewal day. Opponent. Maybe they were. No, they played our cards. Siphoning your opponent's land to try to keep them mana screwed is kind of a hilarious idea. All right. Past the boy, opponent is. Why is our opponent having such clock issues? I'm so confused. This is such a weird match. Atwara. Sure. I guess. Yes. All right. Opponent bounces our Skull Dweller. Shopkeep Dave for the 2nd month. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Thank you. That would actually make all this make more sense. If our opponent is, that would make the timing make sense. If our opponent's trying to like watch the stream, why would you do that in a like medium ranked arena ladder match though? The payoff is so okay. An opponent, whoa. And then as soon as someone mentioned watching the stream, they scooped. Suspicious. Suspiciouser and suspiciouser. The Wet Stuff. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Has anyone played the old Hizan Tamar on Commander Clash? Sounds like an interesting Commander build around. I feel like I have. I'm pretty sure I played a Hizan Tamar deck at some point. I mean, it could very likely be that our opponent has bad internet or is distracted or whatever. McCary for the 61st month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Big super cheer for you. Hey Seth, I've been thinking about the lack of shakeups in the metagame after the release of 1. I'm wondering if it would be about time to consider banning for diversity's sake if nothing changes soon. I mean, so if we look at standard, remember this is the third set of since rotation, right? We had 2 in the fall and now this one. So we're in a pretty big standard. So it's probably not fair. I wish I knew more of what our opponents was doing. Gandalar, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Thank ya. So if you look at the standard meta, it's definitely true that we haven't seen a bunch of new decks develop, or really many. I mean, I guess like 5-color mid-range or whatever, some sort of Kami or Atraxa deck. That's probably the newest deck. We do see new cards though. Like we do see adaptations. We see Eternal Wander. We see like Tyver showing up in some builds. We see Atraxa being all over the place. I still feel like standard's pretty good at the moment, so I'm not in too... Oh no, we need to hurry up. I'm not in too much of a hurry to... just say we need like big changes. I'm still enjoying standard. I wish we would see more. Hey, thank you for the bits. I wish we would see more new decks. That would be really sweet. But I still feel like standard's, I don't know. I feel like standard's still pretty good right now. I'm still pretty happy with where standard's at. Do you think Atraxa will get banned? That seems unlikely to me. About it. Hey Seth, met you in the lobby at Hampton this week. Just wanted to say it was amazing meeting you. Made my weekend super cool to see you in person. Hey, it was awesome to meet you as well. Yeah, did you have a good event? Current build of Modern Boggles. Ooh, I would love to. Boros Vindicator. That looks fun. I mean, burn down the house with a Vindicator out. Seems pretty sweet. I wish there was more to do with it in standard. Vindicator, it's been a little like there's no Blasphemous Act, there's no Volcano Healing, there's no like, if I have this and another thing, I win the game combos. Like the burn spells are sweet and the deck looks solid. And I think as far as what we have access to in standard, this is about as good as it's gonna get. I do really wish we had like a real combo piece though that was just like, more or less, if you get Vindicator and resolve this thing with Vindicator on the battlefield, it could just win the game. So maybe we'll get one in a future set. Maybe we just haven't gotten to it yet. McCary with a $25 donation. The card I'm thinking a lot about is Reckoner Bankbuster. For most of the same reasons, its Smuggler Copter was banned since it's been routinely in 60% of lists since it was released. I have similar thoughts about Fable with it supporting the new Atraxa. So I do think that Bankbuster is currently the most played card in standard. 63% of decks. It's hard for me to... Thank you so much for the donation, McCary. Definitely appreciate it. Huge donation. It's hard for me to wrap my head around. All right, we got through whatever that match was. It's hard for me to wrap my head around banning such a fair card. The number's huge. The number is huge. And that is a fine justification for banning a card. Like, I can get behind the argument that no card should be 63% of the meta. And that's just too much no matter what the card does. Bankbuster to me feels incredibly fair. I don't know if I've ever seen an opponent resolve a Bankbuster and kind of like groaned. You never get that, like, at least for me, I never get that like Ragavan experience or Tronland experience where it's like, oh no, now we're doing this. Oh my god. Bankbuster, it seems pretty fair, so it's hard for me to feel like, I don't know, like that card's absolutely got to go or anything like that. And I think we've seen developments. Remember, there was a time not that long ago where Sheoldred was at like 60% of the meta. It's still at 39, which is a lot, but it's definitely come down. Like, we're no longer in the world where the top creatures are just a list of all the best black cards in the format. Like, the meta has evolved, not as much as I would like necessarily. So, I don't know. I mean, at this point, I'm still pretty happy with Standard, honestly. Like, I wish it was more diverse. I wish we got more new decks, but I don't know. I kind of like where the format's at currently. Do you think this could get some wins locally? Ooh, leveler combo? I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a 2-card combo that can win the game, so I would say yes. I think it's definitely possible. I don't know why not. The boomerang and remand plan is fun. Bounce them all, bounce the lands. Ugh. What do you think about Necrogen Communion? Is this a real card? This was the one card in the deck list that I was like, I don't know about this. Is that actually... I don't think we can keep this hand. This hand does nothing. Oh, this deck. Magic gods. All right. Well, 5 cards. Here we go. Off to the races. How do you feel about Commander Masters? I mean, every master set is Commander Masters. I don't know why they felt like they needed to make actual Commander Masters. Yeah, I think Necrogen's got to go. I don't know. People keep playing these bad spells in infect decks or in toxic decks, and I keep thinking, well, am I the one that's wrong? am I the one? Why do people keep putting these horrible cards in their decks? Wow. Well, there's all the lands. Ugh. What a nightmare. Well, the Mold of 5 is never gonna be a successful game. Hey Seth, are you or any of the Goldfish crew going to MagicCon Minneapolis in May? Not that I'm aware of, but I'm not 100% sure. Ugh. Not 100% sure about it. Oh yeah, this was for a video from her stream from Valentine's Day, and I forgot to change it. I mean, master sets I think are in general a good thing. Well, Canker Bloom. If we get blown out here, we're just going to concede, I think. Infectious. If they have a cut down, then we just are done. All right. We killed a thing and gave him a poison counter. Game on. I hope they reprint the Commander free cycle, Fierce Guardianship and Deflecting Spot both over 60. Meh. Standard. I have an interesting take. Tried to resolve a kill with Explosive Singularity in Standard. Ooh. Who we're trying to get the Mercurial Spell Dancer Explosive Singularity kill, eh? I mean, 2 Explosive Singularities does win the game. Ah, it's so much mana. The Mind Slicer Apparatus plan is interesting for sure. And I guess Third Path Iconoclast, like, that's definitely a cool idea, Fluffy Lombax. Definitely seems like a sweet against the odds plan. I worry that there's just so much removal in Standard. I think that's kind of my concern with, like, Mercurial Spell Dancers. I think this might be a card that's better in older formats even. In Standard, it's just, how do you get something to live? It is not easy. Just everything dies every time. It's such a incredibly grindy format, but yeah, the idea seems hilarious. Like, the kill is definitely super hilarious, and I like the synergies. I like Third Path Iconoclast to make tokens for the Singularity. How has Mind Slicer Apparatus been? That's a card that I've seen people talk about, but I've never actually seen it work. Yeah, the new Chandra with Explosive Singularity seems possible. Because Chandra is, what, 6, and then it makes 2 mana, so that gets you to 8. You don't really need... You need a couple of creatures to be able to to be able to kill with it. Grixis control. I mean, we're just going to cut Nitrogen Communions. I think we just take these out of the deck after this match. We have a new donation from McCary, $10 donation. For those saying that Fable isn't ban-worthy, consider that it dominates mid-range matchups, and now it enables both hardcasting and Droxa in discarding it to reanimate. Even in older formats, we saw a Pro Tour won by decks that lean very hard on Fable. I mean, Fable is an incredibly strong card. Hey, wow, 3 lands, some spells. This is a hand. This is a hand of Magic cards that actually does things. We're doing it. We're gonna get a poison counter on someone. We're actually doing it. Is Nitrogen good in any deck? All right, this is where we can see, can the toxic plan work? We're curving out with evasive toxic creatures. Is this a legit plan in standard? Land, combat, attack you. Opponent kills the Siphoner, sure, but down to 18 and bloated Contaminator and pass the turn. So, I mean, I think you're right, McCary, in the sense that if I was going to ban something in standard, I would probably be looking towards, I mean, I guess also Invoke, but I would probably be looking towards Fable the Mirror Breaker. Bankbuster, I can see the argument for that as well. So I definitely agree that those are some really push cards. I think the thing I like about them, and the reason that I don't feel more strongly about it, is they're just like, they're fairer cards. Like, after we've come out of standards where it's like, Fires of Invention, I win, or like Winota, I win on turn 4, or Wilderness Wreck, I win on turn 4. The fact that like standard is these long, interesting games, that actually kind of appeals to me. I like that aspect of standard. So yeah, the amount that these cards are showing up is higher than I want it to be, for sure. But a format where cards like Reckoner Bankbuster are the best cards is kind of appealing compared to some of the past formats we've had with like turn 4 combo kills being like the best thing going. The issue with Fable the Mirror Breaker is basically required in every red deck, and every red deck will be better with it. I mean, that is definitely true, and I have found that obnoxious. Well, I think we just Canker Bloom win. Canker Bloom, do you have a counter? No. Sack it. Proliferate. Poison counter number 10, and that was actually a good toxic win. It is possible to just beat down with toxic creatures and win. But Seth, when mid-range is so strong, even if it's fair, it really stifles innovation. Richard's exactly right when he mentioned why new archetypes don't show up when Jund-type decks are too strong. Do you think that banning something like Fable would change that, though? Or banning something like Bankbuster? I feel like a lot of the cards in the format just kind of push in that direction. I would be surprised, like, if you ban Bankbuster, even if you ban Bankbuster and Fable, I don't know if it's going to make the format not a mid-range fest. I feel like it would still be pretty mid-rangey, because a lot of the other best cards are still pretty mid-rangey. I don't know. I guess I kind of like the mid-rangey aspect of standard. I wish there was more diversity, like more new cards breaking in or decks breaking in, but Fable, if anything, but most cards in standard are fair. Bankbuster needs a ton of other decks. That's the other thing, too. If you ban something like Bankbuster, wouldn't that just make Fable worse? Because then your non-red decks are going to have less options. I do definitely agree that I have found it annoying that it does feel like if you're in red and you're not playing Fable, your deck is Yeah, it's just wrong. It's just wrong and your deck is worse off. So it is awkward that it feels like you have to play some of those cards. Well, play a land. Raw Priest on turn 1, finally. Basically a guaranteed poison counter. Yeah, opponent. Kills a Rot Priest, takes poison. Pestilence Siphoner, go. Opponent. Blood Tithe Harvester. Yeah. Billow Squall Dweller. Hit you for 1. Poison ya. Land. Siphoner. Go. What about proliferating the Fables so they don't get the effects? If you proliferate, they still get the effects. They will just happen faster. Proliferating on Sagas is actually kind of a synergy. Like, being able to proliferate to speed through your Sagas can actually be pretty strong. Well, get in there. Opponent blocks. Skull Dweller. Canker Bloom. I don't know if we ever get Phyrexia mana. Seems like it's just not ever going to happen. I mean, what do you think about Standard? Do you think Standard needs bannings? I mean, remember too, we're gonna get March of the Machines before super long. Like, that is going to happen. Well, go to combat. Hit ya. Opponent blocks. Abrades. Yeah, I don't know. Well, another Canker Bloom. Play the land. 3 poison counters. We're still a long way to go in these Sagas. I mean, we're seeing the power of Saga right here. Like, these 2 Sagas are essentially just winning our opponent this game. With Saga, like, would our deck be better if we splash for Saga? Probably. I think that's likely. Wow. Would our deck be better if Invoke Despair wasn't a thing? Yes. The next MTG convention, you have a mini gathering of Panharmonicon fans. You can call it Panharmonicon. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me, McIntyre. That sounds like something I do. Yeah, it was really cool to see Reed Duke win. Like, Reed has been one of the best players for a long time, and he's never won a Pro Tour. It also, I mean, there's been so much upheaval in Magic, not just in competitive Magic, where there's certainly been a ridiculous amount of upheaval, but in Magic in general, so much has changed. It's really sweet to see that some things don't, and that Reed Good is still good at Magic. Well, Mill, Canker Bloom. I feel like Tyver is probably just better than that enchantment we're playing. Like, Tyver is the same thing as that enchantment, except it's also a planeswalker. That seems a lot better. About it. Oh no, Fable number 3. I don't know if anyone's ever beat 3 Fable the Mirror Breakers. Yeah, it does seem like the backside feels legendary because of Kiki Jiki being legendary. Yeah, I think we're just fabled out of this game. Like, I don't even know what we... Is there any way this deck gets in 6 more poison counters from this point against a million Fables? We can't attack. We can't Vraska or we lose. Well, I mean, I guess we have to Vraska. I guess we're losing anyway. Vraska. Opponent. Yeah. Yeah, GG. All right, let's see if we can fix this deck. Hey, thank you, Agent 5. I'm glad you liked it. I miss Ugin. Oh my goodness. Really wet stuff? You miss Ugin? Oh, I hate Ugin in Standard. I play against Reckoner Bankbuster literally all day before I play against an Ugin. Oh my goodness. ARIOSW with the gift sub to DJ Manmar and Mr. Second Amendment. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, how do we fix this deck? Well, first off, I don't know what people's obsession is with playing bad spells that say toxic on them, but boy, do people love playing bad spells that say toxic on them. We're cutting the enchantment for sure, first thing. No doubt about it. So we got to be able to keep up with the grindiness of the format. We know that can get an aggro kill. We saw it get an aggro kill. How do we keep up with the grind? Do we add Fable of the Mirror Breaker? Do we add Fable of the Mirror Breaker to the deck? Is that the solution? I mean, more Tyver seems good. Tyver seems really solid in this deck. March of Burgeoning Life. Maybe. Maybe March is good. What about what if it's all Tyvers? Is Tyver just the hero of this deck? Also, what about Murex? I feel like if any deck is going to be a good Murex deck, it's probably this one. I guess the colorlessness might be an issue, but we have a million. Why are we playing 8 swamps? Golly gee. That is a ton of swamps. I guess we don't have another dual land, right? Not a rare one. Maybe something like that. I mean, that looks fine. What is the sideboard? In fact, Night Clubber. Why is Night Clubber in the sideboard? What is this trying to hate on? Is this good against any deck that people play? I mean, I guess if you run into tokens, but I don't ever see token decks. Necrogen Rot Priest. Whenever a creature you control with toxic deals combat damage to a player, that player gets an additional poison counter. That doesn't seem that bad. I don't know why that's in the sideboard. Or Icarus. The sideboard is a something. Something. No, I think the toxic. Well, I mean, I don't know. The toxic core was in the deck, and I sideboarded out every time. Is that card actually good? To me, that looked like the worst card in the deck by a pretty huge margin. But maybe I'm missing something with it. So the draw 2 poison spell is in the sideboard. This is not a deck that I built. This is, I think, probably an infamous small Japanese tournament deck, or maybe it was a Moto deck. But yeah, this is. The name should be on the deck list. All right, add duresses to the sideboard. So what are you most hyped for with March of the Machines? I mean, we can just try it again. The Murex should help. I don't know about the Rot Priest in the sideboard. Everything about this is very odd. Very, very odd. Unlicensed Urses. Can never go wrong with unlicensed Urses. So what do you think of all these March of the Machine cards? Like, how impactful do you think these cards are going to be? Like, what do you think? Okay, New Omnath. What do you think of New Omnath? This is a card I'm trying to figure out how good it is. So it's 5 mana, or 4 mana and 2 life. It's 5 color. It draws you a card each turn. Sometimes it'll make you 3 mana as well. And then it lets you store up your mana. I mean, obviously, I think this is going to be a really popular commander. I think people want to play all the Omnaths together. People have been waiting for 5-color Omnath ever since we got like 3-color Omnath, probably. People are like, oh, this is going to go all the way. We're going to get all the color combinations. We finally got there. I don't know if the card's not good or if it just looks bad because the last Omnath was so incredibly busted. Like, Omnath Locust of Creation, my goodness, that card it's so over the top strong. Like, it's still, like, getting banned places, a staple in Modern. Like, it is a really push card. So I think being worse than that doesn't make it a bad card. But it definitely is worse than that. It doesn't do anything right away. That's the biggest difference. That's the thing that gives me a concern, I guess, in Standard. Like, can this actually see play in Standard when it doesn't do anything until the next turn? Ooh, if you untap with it and it sticks out, it is going to just, like, generate enough value that you'll probably pull ahead and win, but it does have to stick around for a turn. Well, four mana do nothing, sort of, ish. What about the most important, the only card that matters in this set? We'll probably talk about all the cards as we go along. So, Omnath, All-Star and Commander, meh, in 60 card formats, is that where we're at? What do we think about Yargle and Multani? 6 mana, 18/6, no text, just flavor text. I've heard much about you from my daughter, Multani rumbled. There was a time when I'd bulk at your aid, Phantom, but she has shown me the merit of Urborg's strange ways. Grishnockribbit. Grishnockribbit, replied Yargle. It's an 18/6. It's an 18/6. It's literally 2 Yargles. It's 2 Yargles in one. I mean, yeah, what's your deck, Sketch? It's I mean, don't pay any attention to these prices. This is gonna be 50 cents or something. Like, or super early 2 months before set release pre-sale prices mean literally nothing. So it's gonna be a bulk rare, but it is a pretty funny meme. It's a good thing to fling. I could see flinging it. I think this will actually be like, I think there's no way this sees play in Standard. If Body of Research, which was what, a 6 mana, no, we're playing Standard. Body of Research was what, a 6 mana 40/40? And it did have a very strict color requirement, but it was essentially a 6 mana 40/40, and it didn't really see meaningful play. I don't think Yargle really deck. Six lands into 1 land. Oh no. You know what? We gotta trust the Magic Gods. We can't go to 5. We're not winning on 5. All right, Magic Gods, give us some lands. Oh, this deck. The Body of Research Fling deck is hey, that's a land. Okay, there was hope. The Body of Research Fling deck was so much fun. That was the one way it did actually see some fringe play. Although, I don't know if Yargle can do the same thing because it's not guaranteed lethal. It's just short of lethal. I think it's a card. I think it'll be a meme commander card. But again, like, that one I don't think is going to see any Standard play. What about, okay, we got so many cards to talk about. Some of these have got to be good in Standard. All right, here's one I'm curious about. Here's what I'm curious about we haven't talked about. Jin-Gitaxias. Jin-Gitaxias. Actually, you know what? Well, let's play. Oh, stop killing our stuff. Pestilence Siphoner. Ouch. Go. Well, we'll talk about Jin-Gitaxias in a minute. That's another one I would like to see opinions on. Opponent. Sarah Paragon. Oh, we're gonna waste a proliferate. Well, we gotta kill the Paragon. Drowned the Angel. Hit you for 1. All right, poison counter achieved. Pass the turn. Garuda, eh? Wow, that's Garuda with a lot of cards. Wait, how many? Is this like Battle of Wits Garuda? I mean, so what is the reasoning to play so many cards? Garuda is good at what it does for sure. Like, if you can pull it off, it does usually just win the game. I'm curious what the reasoning is to play so many more cards than necessary though. I will say one thing. Going back to our Standard conversation, if you're playing a deck that doesn't... Really? If you're playing a deck that doesn't have Bank Busters and Fables, and your opponent's deck does have Bank Busters and Fables, you do feel massively disadvantaged. At least that has been my experience. I feel massively disadvantaged when my opponent's drawing like 2 cards a turn and I'm drawing 1 card a turn. It's not obvious in the way that like an Oko or an Omnath is that you're losing, but you kind of are losing when that's happening. Tally-all! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Pro Tour was fun to watch. Do you know how many decks played Fable? Felt like a deck could win with random tokens or their main game plan. I'm sure there was a lot of Fables. Opponent. Going to do some wrathing of things. Okay, now we draw some lands that are not the most helpful. Okay. Oh no, what do we even do here? I mean, I guess we attack Eternal Wanderer, but opponent can block. I mean, I guess in our defense, our opponent did hit triple ossification, which is kind of ridiculous. Canker Bloom, yo. Okay, it works like tap 4, mana dork, Garuda in hand, another tap 4, 2 mana dorks. Wait, I think I missed your answer, Sketch. What was the reason to play 100 cards or whatever? Like, doesn't that just make it less likely that you draw Garuda? I feel like Garuda's one of those decks where it's like, all I care about is drawing a single card. Like, all I care about is drawing Garuda. So I would think that anything that reduces... Oh, we're so dead here. Anything that reduces your odds of drawing Garuda is probably a bad thing. I mean, I think this game is... Wow, maybe this deck just doesn't work. Maybe this deck is just straight up non-functional. Oh, Venerated Rot Priest. Go to combat. I guess we have to attack here, but... Opponent blocks. Well, we killed an Eternal Wanderer. We did it. Tyver. Take down Tyver. Mill some cards. Like, Tyver getting back Canker Bloom seems like that has to have potential. How are we feeling about Commander Masters? I love that we're getting reprints of Ur-Dragon and Jeweled Lotus. I mean, it's so many products, which... Oh, I see. I see what you're going for. I see what you're going for, Sketch. Definitely funny. You don't see... Just sitting down with a huge pile of cards. You don't see that super often. Opponent's going to go after the Canker Bloom. Well, destroy... All of these cards beat us. Restoration of Vajano, I guess. How about that card that beats us? I will never complain about a Master set. I think it's a little weird that Commander Masters just makes me laugh, because if you look at any recent Master set, it's obviously, you know, mostly focused on Commander. So the idea that we need Commander Masters, quote unquote, is kind of funny to me. But Master sets, as far as I can tell, are just all upside for players. There's really no downside. Like, it's all upside. Bloat it. Oh, boy. Opponent's at 1 poison. One poison. It's all upside. Like, it makes cards cheaper. So, I don't know. I think a Master set's a good thing. There's some concern about just, like, how many products there are just overwhelming people. I talked to someone and my goodness, how many ossifications are there in the top of your deck? Okay, we're gonna scoop this. Like, there's no way we're gonna win from here. It's gonna be a very long and painful death, but there is no way we're gonna win from there. Huh. We might be giving up on this deck pretty soon. maybe Toxic okay, question chat. Has anyone made a Toxic aggro deck like this work in Standard? Or are we just like fighting too much of an uphill climb because you just can't really play aggro decks in Standard? Is that the problem, that you can't play aggro beatdown decks because it's just too grindy and removal heavy? Fade from History. Wait, what does Fade from History do? Yeah, I mean, we've played Toxic Combo, and we know that like Rot Priest combo decks can win. We've played Proliferate Control decks, and we know that those can win. This is a one like Toxic style we haven't tried. Just like, can you play the Toxic creatures and attack and like beat your opponent down? Maybe Golgari is just not the right color. Maybe that's it. Maybe we have another one. Maybe we got to switch colors. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's not Toxic. Maybe it's Golgari Toxic. I mean, the upside, so you are playing a lot of bad creatures. That's for sure. They are generally underpowered. However, you do get the upside that it is a really fast clock. Like, when we won our win with this deck, our one actual legit, like, beat you down win, we just curved out with Toxic creatures, and the poison counters added up so quickly that it was hard for the opponent to stop. Well, play a land. Go to combat, hit ya. Yeah, sure, Aereo. Blightbelly Rat, limited all-star Blightbelly Rat. I have another Toxic deck for Pioneer. I made it before you. Can you check it? Yeah, sure, Sketch. What is it with our opponent and drawing ossification? And what is it with this deck and just never hitting land drops? Hit you to 17 best, or, you know, to 17 best the turn. Opponent. What planes do we think we lose in March? Considering Omnath, Nissa, and Nihiri completed, Zendikar doesn't look long for this world. Wait, so are we thinking that actual planes are gonna be destroyed? I'm still not convinced that this isn't one of those bait and switches where we actually learn that, like, oh, everything goes back to normal. Like, this was all just like, you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna release March of the Machines and Aftermath, and it's gonna look like the end of everything. And then we get to the Lord of the Rings set, and we're gonna find out that actually the last like 2 years of Magic lore, it was all just like Schmiegel's dream. Like, Schmiegel wakes up with the ring, and it starts off the Lord of the Rings set, and like, hey, everything's normal. None of this actually happened. There was no Phyrexian invasion. Elish Norn's not real. Nissa's not completed. And then they play some Fortnite. Play the land. Go to combat, hit you. Isn't that the name of the thing in Lord of the Rings? I don't know. I'm not a Lord of the... Isn't Schmiegel like the... Am I wrong? I very well could be wrong because I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan. Lord of the Rings is the milk on cereal of movies. Opponent. Hit ya. Schmiegel. Okay. Schmiegel. Well, we'll get there. Wait. Oh, we can't even play it because of our 1 seed core. All right, right, your go opponent. We can't even play it. Opponent. Schmeagle. Schmeagle. Here is the deck Abzan Toxic Aggro. Let me see what you got, Ario. Opponent. Wandering Emperor. What is the Emperor doing? Targeting our Blight Belly Rat. Well, okay. Cankerbloom. Actually, maybe we just keep Cankerbloom. Sure. Blight Belly Rat down. We don't have green mana, so we can't Tameo safekeeping. Opponent. Maybe we just gotta build our own version. Go to combat. Kill the Wandering Emperor. Opponent. Alright. Run out the Siphoner. And pass the turn. I hope Mom gets rid of all the Phyrexians and Planeswalkers, except Ginger Brute becomes a Planeswalker. I mean, I feel like... Oh, God. Really? What are you doing, opponent? Why? Oh, this format's so punishing for aggro. It is so punishing for aggro. Well, Cankerbloom. Yeah, that's not ever getting through. Jeez. I would like to see the like the gingerbread woman from the Eldraine trailer be a Planeswalker. That would be sweet. Wow, so we just can't do anything ever. Bloated Contaminator, go. What's your excitement for Shadows over Innistrad Remastered? I mean, so I'm excited for individual cards from it. Like, Shadows over Innistrad Remastered Limited or whatever doesn't have any appeal to me, really. However, I am excited. I am excited about the, the cards that are being added to Explorer. Shadows over Innistrad has quite a bit of stuff that Explorer needs to be closer to Pioneer. Spirits, zombies are some of the big ones. So I'm really hyped that we're finally getting some more important individual cards for the goal of actually getting Pioneer, full Pioneer on the client. Ooh, okay. So we can Tyver, Reanimate, Proliferate, but that doesn't work because there's an Unlicenser, so our opponent's prepared for that. Yeah, maybe Tyver's not the solution to our problems. Pass the turn. We can look at Shadows over Innistrad. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, there goes the grid. Tyver's looking worse. Opponent came prepared. What do we actually get from Shadows over Innistrad Remastered that is actually going to matter? I mean, what is everyone else's hype level about it? Grabbing the planes. And passes. There's our lands. There's those lands we were waiting for. Pass the turn. Hey, where's Shadows over Innistrad? Okay. Well, we'll look at it in a minute. Opponent, gonna keep generating value. Opponent. Getting back ossification. Boy, having a removal spell that you can reanimate seems really good in this deck. We've blown up ossification multiple times, and our opponent's really good at getting it back. I mean, I think there's a pretty big argument that Mono White's the best deck in Standard right now. I think it's at least on the short list of best decks. About it. You guys got to post more combos with MTG. Oh, yeah. I mean, we both combos quite a bit. About it. Oh, no. Even more lands. Even more lands. Well, okay, land. Tyver Jubilant Brawler. I guess the nice thing about this ability is if we tick down and hit something, there's no window for our opponent to exile it. So as long as we have something in our top 3, like a Blight Belly Rat, okay. Okay, that's 5 counters. We can Drown and Ichor our own Blight Belly Rat. That's 6, 7 counters. Maybe we can do this. It might be possible. Here's an early version of the deck. Before the video, I can send a Naya version. Opponent can exile some stuff. Let me take a look at your list. Ooh, some Mervinda. Mervinda Venerated Rot Priest combos, eh? That looks sweet. I mean, Illuminator Virtuoso in spells is pretty powerful. So adding, that's an interesting idea. I'm curious, have you got a chance to play it at all yet? I'm curious how the mixture works of toxic versus non-toxic. Like, do you get many poison kills or do you get more non-poison kills? Yeah, the Poison Ivy deck, I think, in Best of One's very strong. I miss Green-White Magecraft. Had a lot of fun with Mervinda in the deck. Yeah, Mervinda's a really neat card. Yeah, well, look, after this match, we'll probably switch decks, and we'll take a look at Shadows of Innistrad. Yeah, but Rot Priest only triggers when it becomes the target of a spell. So you can untap it, but it doesn't really do anything. Opponent's gonna draw 2. Psychologist, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big skip to your video. Thank you. Has anyone made Spell Dancer work well? Having a ton of fun with it. Feels tier 2. In standard, not really. I've seen it show up a little bit in older formats and look decent. I think that in standard, it's just standard's so removal heavy. It's so removal heavy that it's hard for me to imagine it actually working out in the long run. Opponent gets in. There's just so much removal. Hard to keep it on the battlefield. Remastered. So I want to check the actual date. They said it on the stream. I don't know if... All right, let's see. So Commander Legends is August. June is Lord of the Rings. It's March, but I don't see the... I don't know where they posted the actual date, but I'm pretty sure it's in March. Yeah, sort of. Opponent's like kind of close to dead, but also kind of close to just killing us. Well, all right, Tyver, see if you can save us. Tyver. We need to hit something here. Take it down. Okay, Pestilent Siphoner. Hit you with the Siphoner. So opponent goes to 6. They're essentially at 8 poison because we can Drown and Ichor the Blight Belly Rat, which will trigger Rot Priest. It's close. We're fighting the good fight. Should we just Drown and Ichor now? Actually, that's 3 poison counters. So our opponent would go to 9. I think we actually just do it now. Tap, tap. So Drown and Ichor the Blight Belly Rat. Yes. Rot Priest hits you to 7. Blight Belly dies. Hits you to 8. Drowned in Ichor proliferates. Hits you to 9. And then basically, if we can hit a proliferate spell like a Cankerbloom off of Tyver, then we should be able to win. We should be able to win. Opponent adapts. Can we pull this off? This would be quite the win. This would be the deck actually kind of doing its thing. Opponent. They can't target our creatures with spells. They can target our creatures with spells, but if they do, they'll... I misspoke. They definitely can target our creatures with spells. Our opponent shouldn't target our creatures with spells. That was the perfect timing. Right when I was saying they can't do that, they did it. That was either a punt or our opponent just gave up and they knew they couldn't actually win from there. Yeah, it might have been them going out on their own terms. Well, that was actually kind of an impressive win. Like, that was not everything going well for our deck. That was a very long, grindy game, and the deck actually managed to pull it off. So that gives us hope. That gives us hope for this deck, that it might actually have a shot. All right, Shadows over Innistrad. What could we possibly get in Shadows over Innistrad remastered that would matter? There's 2 sets. This was from the 2-set block era. So we have Shadows over Innistrad, we got Eldritch Moon. From Shadows over Innistrad, Cryptolith Rites isn't on Arena, is it? Cryptolith Rites is actually a really cool combo card. There's probably some sweet against that action that we can pull off with that card. Yeah, blowing up an artifact during enchantment seems worthwhile. Wow, they had that Vindicator forever too. Drowned in Ichor cannot kill Vindicator. Yeah, the removal's sweet. Questionable. So, Cryptolith Rites is sweet. Traverse would be a big one. Oh, Westville Abbey's a really cool card. Westville Abbey's cool. Elder Deep Fiend. We have played some sweet Elder Deep Fiend decks. Archangel Avacyn might be playable. The Planeswalkers are pretty bad. Lots of zombies, like Diref Colossus is another. Oh, Seasons Past. Oh, do you remember the Seasons Past deck in Standard? The Seasons Past deck was so cool. It was like Golgari Control, and you're just like casting stuff, and then you Dark Petition to tutor, and then you get the Seasons Past, and you get everything back, and you kind of loop it. It was like the grindiest deck. I think we could build Seasons Past in Explorer. I think that would be pretty sweet. Nahiri's also Nahiri's a legit Planeswalker. That's one worth keeping in mind that could actually be playable. Duskwatch Recruiter is a pretty playable card. So there's some important stuff. And then Eldritch Moon. Do you think they had Emrakul? That's the big question. Like, that set was all about Emrakul. They kind of have to, right? You can't do Shadows over Innistrad remastered and not add Little Emrakul to the set. Little Emrakul, though, that feels like they haven't really let many cards like this onto Arena. There's no Mindslaver on Arena, right? There's the Steal Your Opponent's Turn. I actually wonder, are there any Steal Your Opponent's Turn cards on Arena? Does Arena actually support the functionality of controlling your opponent's turn? I'm not 100% sure that it does. Sigarda's 8 is huge for Hammer Time decks. We get some of the OG meld pairs like Gisela. Eldritch Evolution is a big one for certain decks. Ambitious Farman. The dual lands are horrible. They were the original Snarls. So yeah, no dual lands of importance. Mostly tribal stuff. Zombies, spirits, some decent planeswalkers. And then there's some good, like, Imprison in the Moon. Really good brawl removal spell. It's not going to see Pioneer play or Explorer play, but it is a really solid addition to brawl decks. If you're like mono blue, that's one of the better mono blue removal spells. So there'll be some stuff for brawl players too. Oh, I forgot. So the other news that we didn't actually get into, let's go attacking. Get in, hit ya. The news we didn't get into is we're getting more mystical archives or retro artifacts, whatever we want to call them, in March of the Machines. However, they're themed on legendary creatures, and the ones we've seen so far. Where are they? Here's what we've seen so far. We've seen 2 of them. So the sweet thing about these cards, like the retro artifacts, you just get one in every pack. So in draft boosters, you don't got to buy some crazy expensive thing. So this is a nice way to add some value to packs for players, which I really like. However, we have Atraxa, which is cool. Most popular commander. People are going to love it in Historic Brawl. That's awesome. We can probably build like a funny historic deck around it. Ragavan Nimble Pilferer. There's no way they are gonna leave this unbanned, right? This has got to get the like Mishra's Bauble Dark Ritual treatment of just getting pre-banned, right? I can't imagine them just letting that card exist in the format. I can't see it. I can't imagine it. About it takes their beats down to 15. Blight Belly Rat. 2 counters past the turn. They're not standard legal, thankfully. Oh my god, standard would be dead. That is real Ragavan coming to Arena, yes. March of the Machines coming to Arena. The lottery cards or the masterpieces or whatever, they are unlimited, so we know they got to program them. The question is, do they ban it? Do they pre-ban it in Historic, which we've seen them do in the past? All right, Vindicator returns. Opponent passes. Well, play a Mirrex. Infectious Inquiry. Give you a poison counter. Draw some lands. Pass the turn. Phyrexia can answer this. Yeah, I think there's no way. There is no way that card is going to be... I shouldn't have called it lottery cards. They look like the masterpieces, but they're actually more similar to... They're more similar to... like Strixhaven Mystical Archives or the retro artifacts from Brotherhood. They're not actually lottery cards. You get one in every pack. Not necessarily, you know, a Ragavan. It could be a common or uncommon or whatever. So you do get one in every pack. So it's really... It's the legendary creature version of the retro artifacts from Brothers War. The monkey's got to get banned. There's no way. Let me know when you can read my lore blurb I'm excited about. Where's your lore blurb, Magikarp? We will... 3 poison. We will untap. We draw a Tyver. Phyrexian Vindicator is it's a biggin. That is a biggin. What happens if we Phyrexia the Vindicator? Then we get a chump? It's going to be at what? 2 loyalty? I don't know what our best play is here. I hate to lose the Phyrexia. And getting rid of it doesn't do that much. Okay, I think we... Play Siphoner. Play Siphoner. And just pass the turn. We're playing the long game. Well, the problem is I think it will be dead, or else we're gonna have to pretty aggressively chump block. I think we probably need to blow up this Architect. And then try to get down Phyrexia to deal with the Vindicator and go from there. I think that's our best bet. We don't want this to start making creatures, and it is another good blocker. All right, go to combat. Blow up Architect. Doing it. Wow, getting frisky. Fires up the Bank Buster. Okay. Opponent just passes. Okay, so now we play the land. We play full price Phyrexia. We treasure the Vindicator. I think we got a shot. I think we actually got a shot here. They probably have Eternal Wander, but that's fine. That's fine. Can you check out the final deck for today? It's an EDH combo in Pioneer. So I started by way of deck building after your videos. Hey, let me see a sketch. All right, get rid of the Vindicator. And this also clears away for a Siphoner, maybe. Perhaps we can get in an attack here. Do you think we'll ever see Slivers become a big bad again in MTG story? Or will they just keep sprinkling them in a couple of sets here and there? Slivers are tricky. They are super tricky. Get in with the Siphoner. No Wandering Emperor? Oh, no Wandering Emperor. Okay, that's nice. All right, pass the turn. 4 poison. Do we actually have a shot here? Opponent's gonna draw a card, as Bankbuster does. Untaps. The challenge with Slivers is there's only so many you can print, right? I think we already kind of see this where newer Slivers double up with the ability of older Slivers. I think it's actually, that's one of the... Ouch. I think that's one of the biggest challenges. I think we actually proliferate their Bankbuster here, so it can't go off. Opponent rests the board. 5 poison. Roadside Reliquary. But we got a variety. Oh my goodness. Gonna draw. Oh, we're gonna win this. We're gonna win this. We're gonna win this. Okay, opponent plays a land. Can we close this out? So, actually, no. Tyver. Play Tyver. Take down Tyver. Do a little reanimating. Get a Canker Bloom. Vraska. Proliferate up to 6. Add counters to everything, including the Bankbuster. Play a Seed Core. And pass the turn. Pass the turn. 6 poison counters. 7 here. We're so close. We're so close. We're so close to actually pulling this off. I think we actually got a chance here about it. I can't believe we're kind of winning this. This match has definitely changed my opinion of this deck. Like, it actually kind of... Ooh, Eternal Wander, okay. It can actually kind of do its thing. Opponent, Eternal Wander, that's fine. That's fine. That's not going to stop us. We just keep looping this Canker Bloom with our Proliferate Planeswalkers. Did we break it? Did we break it? Gonna blink the Vindicator. That's annoying. Yeah, I think we actually give up a Proliferate to kill that. While it's still an artifact. Okay. Vindicator down. I'm from upstate New York, although that's pretty Midwestian. Not that different. Alright, another Bankbuster. Opponent passes. So, proliferate. Oh, we win right now, don't we? Proliferate you. Actually, do we win right now? Opponent goes to 7. Take down Tyver. Over 1 short. Take down Tyver. Get a Canker Bloom. Play another Canker Bloom. Play a land. Play the Skull Dweller. I don't know how our opponent gets out of this. We're going to actually win with this deck. Opponent. Ossification. Going for what? Canker Bloom. Well, we will proliferate. We're going to make sure these Bankbusters never ultimate. Take him up, take him up. Tyver's actually been really good. Tyver's actually been great in this deck. Opponent, Samurai, sure.
I brought backup.
But none of this matters. None of it matters. About it. Opponent. Roadside Reliquary. We're going to draw a card. It's been good proliferate. Wow, opponent just runs it out. The old main phase Wandering Emperor. I mean, I guess you got to cast your cards before you die. Opponent. Sure. They've used their mana. They've cast their cards. But they cannot stop the poison. Proliferate. And just because we're nice, we're gonna add some counters to our opponent's planeswalkers here. We'll help you, opponent. Friends, right? An opponent scoops it up. Okay, that was actually legit. That actually felt surprisingly good. So I think technically our record is 2-2. Someone asked about the record. I think it's the first win was that really weird match where opponent played really slow and ended up scooping in game 2. But I think we're 2-2 now. Maybe we can get out of platinum. Let me see this. Let me see this deck. Oh, that is a spicy one, Sketch, for sure. Delina Lightning Runner Ishin. So I imagine the goal is to try to take infinite combat steps. That's pretty hilarious. I've never seen anyone try to combo Ishin with energy, but I like it. That's a super spicy plan, Sketch. Super sweet. Did you glance at the deck list when you open it? Here's a link to the Abzan Aggro deck. Abzan Aggro. Let me see, Aereo. Oh yeah, that looks sweet. Still not sold on Necrogen Communion, but yeah, kind of you get some white 1-drops, similar plan to this deck, but more creatures and less planeswalkers. Yeah, it looks cool, Aereo. Not bad. Poison being impossible to interact with is pretty strong. Yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, the upside, or maybe downside. So, okay, Jin-Gitaxias. We didn't actually get to talk about it. Have you ever heard of the Royal Game of It's the oldest board game in the world. At 4,500 years, and it's really fun. I haven't. I'll have to look that up, Stone Rain. That's a neat bit of trivia. It's actually fun. I would not expect a 4,500-year-old game to actually be fun. So, Jin-Gitaxias, chat, I need your opinions. There was a bit of a debate on this on the podcast yesterday. Is Jin-Gitaxias good? Is it playable? One very particular note about everyone bringing up Nicol Bolas in relation to March of the Machines. Back when the mending was about to occur, it was going to destroy the multiverse if they didn't seal the last rift of Otea in Dominaria 6 years prior to current day Magic. So it's not like he's not aware of needing to help the greater good to further himself. So, I mean, Jin-Gitaxias, the backside's like ridiculous, right? The Great Synthesis might be the strongest saga we've ever seen. Like, the first mode doubles your hand size, and you gotta have 7 cards in hand when you get there. So you're gonna go from at least 7 cards to 14 cards. Then you bounce all your opponent's stuff and maybe keep your stuff, at least some of it. And then you get this 1-turn Omniscience with 14 cards in hand where you just cast all your stuff for free. I don't know how you lose if you ever go through the Great Synthesis. On the other hand, Jin-Gitaxias, meh. When he's not a saga, 5/5 for 5 Ward 2 with kind of a medium card draw, or maybe even bad card draw ability, like a not that great card draw ability. The front side is not very good. The back side, though, it makes me want it to work just because it's like, the backside's so strong. Winner Milan, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Ward 2 helps a little bit. Like, I think it helps a little. It's not a very high ward number on a 5-drop. I think ward 2 on like a 2-drop can be pretty annoying because you're just not going to have the time for it. But by the time this is coming down, you're kind of in the Invoke Despair stage of the game anyway, where in Commander it's probably easier to pull off. I think the other thing about it is the card draw ability only triggering on mana value 3 or greater. Gonna make it kind of tricky to draw cards. Is there any tricks to that? Like, what is the best way to draw cards? The best way to draw cards with this? normally when you see effects like this, you're chaining together cantrips and cheap spells, but that just doesn't work with Jin-Gitaxias. Joey Joe and Ermy, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you, thank you. My only fear with Mom, from a story standpoint, is if they wrap it all up with Mom Aftermatch, too much build up for too little payoff. I mean, we gotta get it over so we get to Lord of the Rings. Get to Lord of the Rings. Where are we with the dual legends, the team up legends? Cringe or cool? Cringe or cool? Just give me your vote in chat. Cringe or cool? Because I've heard both. I've really heard both about these cards. Where I've heard some people like, this is Magic jumping the shark or jumping the frog in the case of Gitrog. Hyper cringe, cool, dual legends, cringe as hell. Can it be both? Can it be both? Can it be cringe and like, can it be cringe, but I'm excited about it? What word would that be? What word would that be? Like, I feel like, yes, it probably, like, if you're going to call it cringy, that's fine. I'm not gonna fight about that because like it is kind of silly and a little ridiculous and a little bit over the top. But at the same time, it's a Thalia riding a Gitrog monster. Like, it's Yargle and Multani. How can I be mad about that? Even if it is silly and cringy, like, it's Thalia on the Gitrog monster. Thank you for your support. Guys from Russia, where I'm from, are laughing at me and my name. Dex, like, Fubo. It's BS in Russian. Thank you, comrade. Well, I'm glad I could help with your Dex sketch. Now let's play a swamp. Is it any more ridiculous than anything else that's going on in Magic these days? I don't think so. Failing on the Gitrog monster. So, all right. If you're someone who's better at lore than me, answer me this. Is that... Yeah, this is going to go poorly. Too much Ichor and not enough poison counters. Is the theme of this, because I'm not 100% sure on this, is the idea of these cards that they're legends from the same plane? Is that what they're going for? So, like, is that why Thalia and the Gitrog monster is a pairing? Because they're both Innistrad legends? Well, this is going to be a quick one. So that's the criteria. They both have to come from the same planes to be a partner pairing. So this is like the Innistrad partner pairing. This is like the Ixalan partner pairing. This would be Drana and Linvala, Zendikar, legendary pairing. Yargle and Mutani, Dominaria. Ooh, we could probably try to make some guesses at other partner pairings. Like, you got to expect they're going to do other recent planes, right? They're going to go to other recent sets. We're going to go to Kaladesh probably. We'll definitely go to Ravnica, probably Ikoria, Theros, anything that's like somewhat recent. You got to expect they're going to go to. Are we just locked? Yeah, I mean, I think this just did not work out. I wanted to Paul Inganti from Kaladesh. What would be the best? Okay, let's do an easy one. So let's move back in time. Do you think they'll do like Capenna? Is Capenna too recent? What would you pick from Capenna? Legendary pairing. It's got to be something ridiculous. Like, it's got to be like two of the gang, like Lord Xander and Ziatora or something. It's got to be that, right? It's got to be two of the family heads. That would be the one that would make the most sense. Falco and Jetmir. Yeah, I mean, Xander might be dead for all I know. I don't keep up on the lore enough, but I would assume it would be like the family heads that would be. Yeah. Ooh. Giada, that's a good one. That would be interesting. Angel Demon? We need more Angel Demons. Could it be 5 color? if you pick 2 of the 3 color pairs and put it together, could we have like a 5 color Streets of New Capenna pair? I mean, I think it's cool. It's definitely cringe, but in a very cool way. I'm hyped for it. Even the fact that we're having this conversation is pretty interesting. Ooh, Quintorius. Who would Quintorius pair with though? Also, hello, Rucker. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Tamio safekeeping. What do we cut? Maybe even infectious spice are just not gonna get the job done. Maybe something. Let's try something like that. So do you think read the chat. The planes we are getting are on game lands already previewed. Oh wait, there's only 10? Wait. What about the rest of the planes? Elishnorn just gave up after 10? That doesn't sound like Elishnorn. So the game lands show the planes that are going to have legendary pairings? Oh, then I guess there's not actually that many of them. I was thinking there would be even more than that. Huh. Okay. Hey, what's up, Jar Jar? How are you? Oh. I mean, we can't. It's a 1-lander, but we can't pass a double Rot Priest hand. Even with a tap land and even with a 1-land, like, double Rot Priest is what we want. Oh, boy. All right. Sad Rot Priest, go. 1 land, 1 keep. 1 land, 1 keep. Opponent, leave our Rot Priest alone. We really need a land, though. We're not going to be able to defend the Rot Priest if we don't draw lands. Oh, no. We're not going to be able to defend the Rot Priest anyway, apparently. Rot Priest, go. Then we're going to play a Liliana, and we're going to cry and scoop. Opponent, land. Opponent, cut it out. Yeah, I like Thalion the Gitrog monster, too. Blood Tithe, Harvesta. Well, I think we actually have to do this to give you a poison counter, so then we can do this and proliferate. Hey, and we drew a land. Well, okay. Get rid of the Blood Tithe Harvester. Proliferate ya, 2 poison. Hit ya, 3 poison. Opponent is officially corrupt. Why is Thalion Gitrog cringier than normal? I'm actually curious. There's like 70 planes being invaded, 10 from the game lands, a couple more from basics, 5 more planes being invaded by the invasion of cycle. Oh yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a bunch of battles. Although I will say, did you notice they called battles a mechanic? They posted something recently that said battles was a new mechanic. And I thought that was interesting. Maybe battles are not going to be as much as we thought. Like, do you think battles are the next Planeswalker, or are battles the next Tribal? I'm almost starting to think that battles are the next Tribal, and they're not actually going to be a new evergreen card type. I'm starting to think it's like a new card type just for this set, that maybe it'll show up sparingly in the future, but I thought it was going to be like something huge that we're going to see every set, and it's going to be like this huge thing. Now I'm starting to think it's like more of a gimmick for this set in specific, rather than something that we're going to see in every set. New card types that aren't evergreen seems so weird to me. Like, when I think of card types, but I guess Tribal would be the one that would disprove that line of thinking, because Tribal we got for, what, 1 set, essentially, and that was They made a whole card type for it. What's a dual character card that you'd like to see? I mean, oh, chill out with these cruelties, opponent. Elishorn and Yarok, obviously. Double Panharmonicon. We need a double Panharmonicon. Oh, if we can draw land. If we can draw land here, we cannot. Go to combat, hit ya. Oh, there's an Atraxa in the graveyard. Okay, poison ya. Oh, we needed to get down the Vraska opponent. So this is the new Rakdos Atraxa deck, apparently. Panharmonicon's not a creature. I think it's gotta be legendary creatures. I despise the term cringe. We're literally playing Magic, the nerdiest game of all time. We exist in a realm where cringe is something a lot of people made were bullied to hell over my interest, and a lot of mean people on the internet, I imagine. I don't. Well, I appreciate your feelings, Megacarp. Opponent. Oh, I don't know if we can get through these last two poison counters now that Atraxa's here. Liliana deals with Contaminator. How do we get in two more poison counters? Even if we kill Atraxa, it's just... Alright, opponent. Yep, kills the Contaminator. Reckoner, Bankbuster. I guess it starts with drawing a land. Alright. Canker Bloom, pass the turd. I mean, maybe we chain together two Proliferates. Proliferate twice does do it. Opponent. Gonna reanimate something that's not Atraxa, thankfully. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Bloated Contaminator. Come on, deck. We need one Proliferate. One Proliferate, and we can win the game. Opponent takes it up. Sure, there goes Atraxa. Yeah, I mean, if we got to keep the Vraska, it would have been good if we drew a land. But the Liliana, our opponent knew about the Vraska, so seems risky to let us keep it. All right, so we need Tyver does it, Cankerbloom does it, Drowning Acre does it, the 2-mana card draw or 3-mana card draw spell does it. Those are the cards here that just win us the game. Opponent, Blood Tithe, Harvesta. I think we gotta sack this. We gotta sack and Proliferate. It all comes down to this top deck. Can we poison out Atraxa? It all comes down to this. Opponent's at 9. Ah, Tyver. Okay, as long as there's not a counter. Tyver. Oh no, do they actually have a counter? Oh, it might be the Bankbuster. That's the stop. Oh, Tyver. Take it down. Take it down. There's a Cankerbloom in the graveyard. We're going to beat an Atraxa. We beat an Atraxa with Tyver, of all things. Yes, we would like to Proliferate. Yes, we would. It actually worked. It actually worked. It actually worked. Oh, that was pretty sweet. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, that was a Tyver win. That was actually pretty impressive. Yeah, they got a Triumph, but I don't think if they're playing a copy and paste of the Atraxa deck from the challenge over the weekend that we looked at earlier, then they probably aren't playing any counter spells. That deck had no blue spells. Just playing the off-color Triumph for value. Okay, card evaluation. I gotta know, chat. I gotta know what you think. We haven't talked about this one yet. Fairy Mastermind, Yuta Takahashi's World Championship card. Kind of like the new Invitational. You win Worlds, you get to make your own card. Fairy Mastermind, 2 mana, 1/2 flash flying. When your opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw a card, pay for, each player draws a card. You'll draw 2 cards because then you trigger its ability. So your opponent draws 1, you draw 2. Isn't this card like, yeah, I remember Yuta wanted it to be a 1/3 to block the Ragavans of the world, but apparently Wizards thought that would be too strong. I mean, the art is weird, but that's like, it's like an invitational card. If you win Worlds, you get your face on a card. So yeah, it's like, it's different to see like kind of a photorealistic face of a pro player on a card. But really, if you go back to like, there's cards have been like this forever. If you go back to like Dark Confidant, you're looking at Bob Marr's face. Does it look a little weird that it's Bob Marr? Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but, or like Meddling Mage, the original Meddling Mage being Chris Pikula, because Chris Pikula won the Invitational. To me, it's not any different than that. Like, it's the fairy version of Yuta. So I don't know. It makes sense to me in the context of a world championship card. If we were just randomly putting realistic faces of people on cards, that would be a little different. But, or like, what about, what was Javier's Fervent Champion? How does Fervent Champion look? I think the difference is just the scale. Like, a lot of the invitational cards, Fervent Champion, you don't really get a close-up of the face. It's like some guy on a horse, and yes, it's Javier Dominguez, but it's so far away you can't really tell. And I think the same, like, Bob isn't super close-up, Meddling Mage wasn't super close-up. I think this one, it's just like such a close-up of the face. Maybe it's more noticeable that it's a World Championship card than some other ones, but that's a lot of Planeswalkers and not much point. This deck is really good at ending up with one-landers somehow. It's an impressive ability of this deck to end up with one-land hands somehow. Shadow, I mean, there's actually a bunch of invitational cards. Shadow Mage is Finkel. Oh, Solemn Simulacrum is, oh no, not like this. Jen's Thorn. What is a Rootwater Thief? Yep, Rootwater Thief is someone whose name I don't remember. Avalanche Riders might be Darwin Castle, I think. Well, 1 land, 1 scoop. But what do you think of the, okay, so discounting the art, isn't this card just kind of like ridiculous? I feel like this card is really, really strong. I think not just in Commander, I think it is absurd in Commander. I think this is the blue Esper Sentinel, essentially. Like, I think you can include this in literally every single blue deck, and it's going to be kind of ridiculous. I think this will just draw you. It's like a 2-drop that's going to draw you 5 cards or 10 cards or something if it stays on the battlefield. But I think this is a good constructed card. I think this is a very good. I think it gets better the further back you go to Modern and Legacy and formats like that. Formats where people are playing Brainstorms and Ponders and cheap cantrips. This is going to trigger so much. Plus, it like pitches to Force of Will. It pitches to Force of Negation. It's got those synergies in older formats. In Standard, it feels like a fine like Delver card in the Delver Hauntijin style decks. It feels really good there. You play it, can draw cards, leave up your counter spells. But in older formats, I think it's going to be really good. Predict land cycle. I mean, easy prediction is the rest of the fast lands. That seems like the most likely. There's one other build of Poison I kind of wanted to try. Maybe we'll try that one. This is a Bant. A Bant Poison deck. This one actually has some of the cards that we didn't get to see in that deck. We got Skrelv. We got Skrelv's Hive. We got Jawbone Duelist. We still get Proliferate. We still got Rot Priest. We get some of the Marches and some of the Protection. So this is definitely not the combo deck. It's still a beatdown deck, but it's got a little bit more of the like protection and combo elements with Venerated Rot Priest, where we can slip out the back to save our creatures. We can do things like that. We can Homestead Courage to pump our creatures. So I wanna give this one a try and see what Bant does. Can Toxic. Actually, yeah, this is the Skrelv. This is Skrelv Tribal. Yeah, being a fairy and a rogue kind of tells you where to put it. It's kind of the perfect home. Fairies would play it, rogues would play it. So yeah, let's try Bant Toxic, see how that goes. I will update the deck list. All right, okay, next card. Chandra Hopespeakin. My initial reaction when I thought was the static's kind of absurd. Like, that's a double vision. Remember double vision? Double vision was, I mean, it was mostly an against the odds card, but double vision was like, what, 5 mana enchantment, and it's the same exact ability. Chandra, you pay 1 more mana, and you're getting a double vision that is also a planeswalker with a ton of other abilities. I like the synergy in standard with explosive singularity. This does seem like the best way to get the explosive singularity kill. Being able to copy during each turn is nice. You can copy during your turn, during your opponent's turn. Digging 5 cards deep is nice. The ramping, I guess, is fine. Like, can you imagine playing this and then invoking, like Invoke Despair? How do you lose? So it's 6 mana, so it's probably going to be like a 1 of or a 2 of. Yeah, I think this is also a card that is Wizards designing for Commander. I think Planeswalkers are so bad in Commander, but this static ability, I think, makes Chandra relevant in Commander, even though Planeswalkers traditionally aren't very good in Commander. So this came up. There's going to be a bit of a Commander Clash podcast about this. What do you think is the single most expensive or most prized real paper Magic card that you own? And is there a story behind it? So the most prized expensive Magic card I own. So most expensive. I don't know if it's most prized. Maybe. But it is a beta demonic tutor, which is, I don't know, $1,000 roughly, maybe. So the story is actually kind of funny. But this is the stream of drawing one-landers, I swear. So do you remember, I think it was called Mythic Edition. It was like Ravnica Mythic Edition, where there were like these special Planeswalker box set thing that was like $300 or something. So they had just announced that. This was several years ago. They had just announced that, and there was a bunch of, well, let's see how good Skrelv Tribal is. We got Skrelv and the Hive. There was a bunch of discussion about that. Was it a good product? Was it a bad product? Was it worth it? Is it $300? Is a lot of money? So that conversation was going on, and Jeremy, or Missouri MTG, someone that I've known for a long time on the Magic internets, he has a card store and buys collections and so forth. But I was saying something about it, and he said, "Well, just give me $300 and I'll send you a package that's, you know, better than this Mythic Edition." And I said, you know what, I might as well try it. So I sent him the $300 and ended up getting the beta demonic, and this was a few years ago, so it wasn't as expensive as it was today, but it was a beta demonic tutor, a beta icy manipulator, and a mox diamond or something. So it definitely worked out super, super, super well. So it was just kind of a weird way to end up with a super valuable card. But yeah, I think that is my most valuable card. He still sells these grab bags, and grab bags are like, they're the worst. Like, yeah, grab bags are just so much known for being scams when it comes to Magic cards, or really any cards. They're so much known for being scams. I will say, the only grab bags that I've ever bought and not regretted would be the ones from Jeremy. So so if we bounce this, I mean, I guess we just go aggro, bounce this, pick up the token. We're gonna flip Flip our opponent's wedding announcement. Oh, it doesn't flip. Wait, it only flips on their end step? How does this actually work? Opponent's up to 6. If the beginning end step put a counter on it. Oh, then if it has... Okay, so it only flips on the end step. Ambitious farmhand. Opponent's at 6 counters, though. Opponent is very close to being dead. This feels way smoother. My brother and I bought 1,000 cards off Etsy for $10. Were they crap cards? Yes. They are still fun to play with? Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's the best thing to do. If you're just playing, like, on the kitchen table, you can get some really just huge amount of cards without spending a lot of money. Well, we will pay 2 life. Toxic a Might. Can't be blocked by white. Does this actually even work? Because they can fire up the Bank Buster. I guess it kind of doesn't. Go to combat. I mean, I guess if they fire up the Bank Buster, they still take 1 poison. Opponent. Cruise. Sure. Blocks. Up to 7. Bloated Contaminator. Spara's headquarters. We are so incredibly close. Okay, maybe Bank Buster is OP. Ban it. Ban it. How many of you went to Philly then? I'm curious. I know a couple people were here earlier mentioned it. Did anyone here go to the Magic Con over the weekend? And if so, how was your experience? I never know. Like, I had a really good time, but I also know I can't generalize my experience to everyone. What did you think, Greg? How was it? Hey, what's up, Monster CC? Good to see you, good to see. Oh. That seems good. Hey, good afternoon from New York, Diego. How are you? How's the Brazil life? Hard to visit Philly from Germany. Yeah, tell me about it. I couldn't imagine going to, like, I know there's a Magic Con in Europe, and it just seems like such a huge amount of travel. I'll go to combat. Attack. 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 There's got to be a way we can win from here, right? So if we attack with everything, opponent blocks, takes 1, and we have to tie versus stand. There's not a way we can phase out for the win. You know what? I think we actually just pass and try to win next turn. This might be wrong, but I feel like our best bet's to wait 1 more turn, phase out all of our opponent's stuff end step, and then just Alpha Strike. That's probably, yeah. Oh, it's tempting to go for it there, but I think this is better. Is it me or does Standard Design feel like every card is a Planeswalker? Banebuster, Fables, Sagas, Wedding Announcements. Yeah, everything is a Planeswalker these days. They all do sort of feel like that. Is this the list playing Mindlink mech? I don't believe we have any Mindlink mechs. Is there a way to make Mindlink mech work in Poison? Poison Toxic Vehicles sounds kind of funny. I'm super sad to see they're not going to be all new plane chase cards. Yeah, what do you think about that? That was the other, there's been so much Magic news, we can't even keep up with it all. So the other thing that came out of March of the Machines, oh god. Moon it. Well, okay. So I guess we gotta phase our stuff out. This should be fine though, right?
Finish this here and now.
Opponent. Yup. Play a land, go to combat, swing with everything, and that looks like game to me. Oh, through the Eternal Wanderer. So, yeah, I was actually I was confused by this. So if I'm understanding this right, they're adding planes, like the plane chase cards, to the March of the Machines commander decks. Hey, thank you so much for the bits there, cover man. Yeah, I think the matchups are from each plane is what they're going for. Troy Monster, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Do any of you play Plane Chase? Not tied to battle. I mean, maybe thematically, but no, this has nothing to do with the battle card type. Does this matter? Does anyone actually play Plane Chase Commander? I'm curious because I haven't played it ever, honestly, and they haven't printed planes in a long time, so it kind of came out from left field, where it wasn't even on my radar that, oh, they could print more planes. Is it something that you're hyped for? Does it make you more likely to buy the Commander precons to get the new planes? And the other question I had is, so actually, you probably know more about this than me, Plane Chase is not Commander, right? They're just two distinct formats. But you can play Commander with planes if you want to. Is that kind of how it works? Hey, what's up, Benny? How are you? Good to see you. So you can just play a normal game of Commander and add the planes into it if you want to. Interesting. I wonder if they'll make them work on Magic Online. That would be fun to try. I know they added actual plane chase to Magic Online a decade ago or whatever, but it didn't actually work. It didn't actually work right when I tried it a couple of years ago, because I thought it could be fun to do a video about it. Let's do a little trimming, bring in a couple canker blooms, run it like that. Yeah, I wish they did too, or actually made it function on Magic Online. I mean, it seems having more ways to play is a good thing. Having more ways to play is always a good thing. What do I think about the amount of words on cards? Somehow it keeps getting more and more intense. Like, I noticed this during the spoiler video. Oh, double Rot Priest, my god. Well, double Rot Priest Tyver stand is probably an unbeatable hand. We're not even going to cast anything. We're going to wait. We are going to play it patiently. Opponent ambitiously farming. Hey, what's up, Dr. Satan? Are you a fan of Rob Zombie movies? Ooh, land in Skrelvsive. Seth, were you at PT Philly? If so, did you hang out with other MTG streamers? So I was at PT Philly for the MagicCon. I got to say hello to some people in passing. Like I met Jim Davis in person for the first time. We were walking. One of the cool things about Philly, I don't know if you've ever been to Philly. The event was right across from Reading Terminal Market, which is kind of like a touristy place, but my god, do they have good food there. The market, like, it's kind of wild. Someone said it was like something out of a movie, and it kind of is. It's just like row after row of these like food vendors packed in and so many people, any like food from anywhere in the world that you can imagine. I'm walking around through like, oh, you can get food from like Korea and the Caribbean and all this like ridiculous stuff, and I was walking around looking for like, where can I find a burger? Like, there's got to be a place in here that sells a burger. Where's a cheesesteak? Give me a cheesesteak. So that was a little boring, but yeah, as I was going to the market, I ran into Jim, so I actually got to meet Jim for the first time. But really, when I go to events, I usually don't. My focus isn't hanging out with other streamers and content people. My focus is hanging out with all of you. So I usually try to like avoid the command zone and avoid the like kind of walled off aspect or paywalled aspect of it. So I mean, I got to see a lot of people and say hello to a lot of people and talk to some WotC people and talk to some other content creators and talk to some pros. So it was really cool to meet. There were some people that I just never really met in person before that I knew from the internet. But I mostly was just jamming games in the free play area with whoever wanted to play for the weekend. So we didn't hang out with Krim. I saw Krim for a minute. Krim was super busy with game night stuff because he was doing the game nights Commander Live thing, Game Nights Live or whatever it is. So yeah, I saw him for a minute, but I didn't really get to hang out with Krim too much. His Krim's girlfriend with him, and they you probably heard about this. Did you see the Shivan dragons? They were handing out these like exclusive Shivan dragon secret lairs numbered like 1 to 250. And we were talking about that because Krim's girlfriend who was with him ended up getting one of the Shivan dragons, which were super rare. Really? That's awesome, Ruckus. The Shivan dragons are... I just saw the SCG selling them for like two grand or something. They're super valuable. What is this attack about? I think we just take it. I feel like this is Eternal Wanderer put a counter on my stuff attack. Most likely. Oh, jeez. Oh no, this is fine. This is not a problem. All right, temporary lockdown comes into play. Canker Bloom it before it wrecks us. Opponent gonna draw some cards. Also going to get, we're like a spell away from maybe just getting oh, that's a spell. That's a spell. Play the land. Go to combat. So we get hit our opponent for 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Not quite enough. Are we dead on the backswing? Let's pass the turn and see what happens. We're so close. Psycho Smurf, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tip for you. Thank you. Been dealing with a blue screen laptop and a car needing to be towed off the free. Oh boy, what a day, Psycho Smurf. Jeez, that does not sound fun. But at least I managed to 2-1 standard this last Friday with the sweet Is It Dragon list. Oh well, Psycho Smurf. I hope the day gets better because that sounds like a rough one. Yeah, we're like 1 poison counter short of winning. Opponent hits us. Down to 4. Depopulate. So, Tyver's Stand. I think this works. Tyver's Stand the Rot Priest. Make indestructible. Poison ya. Spell Snare the other Rot Priest. Poison ya. Proliferate ya. Counter on the wedding announcement. Opponent's at 9. And dead. Whew. Not bad. I've been brewing an All Will Be One deck I want to know your thoughts on. Ooh, I love All Will Be One. All Will Be One is one of my... you might be thinking of Tomer, Magikarp. You might be... I love All Will Be One. All Will Be One's one of the cooler cards from the new set. I see Spike 5-0'd with it in Modern. We might have to try the Modern build. It was the Quest for Pure Flame combo with All Will Be One. So at some point we're probably gonna have to try that. I promise you Modern's coming. There's 2 Modern videos already recorded, and I will say there's some really sweet decks coming up on the YouTube and in sweet performances, I think. Kripeltron, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. First time's up, big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. Ooh, this deck is spicy. So All Will Be One, oil counters, and planeswalkers. I haven't really seen this color combination. Storm the Festival seems like a really good way to find them. I like it. That's a really neat take on this archetype. Dolphgrum, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. This deck feels, maybe more competitive. Have we talked about all the cards? Oh, what have we not talked about yet? Oh, Heliod. What do we think about Heliod? Heliod's another one. A little bit like not Shieldred. A little bit like Jin-Gitaxias. The front side to me feels okay. Like 4 mana 4/4 ETB, get back a enchantment to your hand from the graveyard. Not like super exciting, but it's fine. The backside though, this card seems very good. 4/6, so good stats. Turns into a Leyline of Anticipation. You get to cast your spells like they had Flash, and then your spells cost 1 less to cast for each card your opponent's drawn. So anything you're flashing in is going to be at least -1 mana. And if you have Howling Mind effects or card draw effects or Fairy Mastermind effects, you can be getting a huge discount. It's so hard to evaluate these cards. Have we seen cards like this in the past that are really all about the backside? I feel like that's one of the themes, at least from just the tiny bit we've seen in this set so far. But both of the you can flip cards that we've seen in Jin-Gitaxias and Heliod, the front halves feel okay, but the back halves feel like the huge payoffs. Gonna be interesting to try to evaluate and see, like, when you think about it, Jin-Gitaxias, it's 9 total mana. Heliod, it's 7 or 8 total mana to get to the backside. But if you get to the backside, you are getting a really strong effect. Yeah, I guess Jace, like some of the old Flipwalkers, that's a good point. Although those you didn't really have to spend mana on. Nicole Bolas, actually except Nicole Bolas, the front side's pretty good. 4/4 flyer ETB make you discard a card. The front side on Nicole Bolas actually decent. Not like absurd or anything, but it's not bad. All right, opponent. Gonna take a poison counter. Cut down our Venerated Rot Priest. Well, it's time to get hiving. I feel like Skrelv's Hive might be one of the most important cards to make toxic aggro work. The difference between this deck and the Golgari deck, the difference between having access to Skrelv and Skrelv's Hive and not, seems huge. Ooh, Valky. That's true. The front side of Valky is kind of meh. Hive sucks. I think you gotta be a toxic deck, but I feel like in a toxic deck, it's actually pretty good. Like, it just keeps making mites. They just keep coming. Well, go to combat, get in with Contaminator. Hit ya, toxic ya, proliferate ya. The backside of Heliod's real good. Opponent. They have a 1 mana removal spell? Is there a 1 mana? Oh, Volt Surge. Well, okay. I actually don't know if this is... Yeah, you know... I don't know if that's correct or not. We can't recast it. Yeah, let's do it. Pick up the Contaminator. Are you going to ninjutsu in Yargle with the new set? I mean, that'd be hilarious. That sounds like so much effort, but the meme would make it worth it, won't it? Corpse Appraiser eats the rot priest, draws a card. That does sound pretty funny. About it, Schwamp. And passes. Here comes a Mite. Bloated Contaminator. Razor Verge Thicket. And pass the turn. Yeah, Fling was the first thing I thought of. Fling seems like the easiest way to abuse the new Yargle. I mean, remember too, Yargle is a horrible card, so it is a meme. Like, that's the whole point of Yargle, is to be a meme. It's not really supposed to be a good card. Like the original version, although, speaking of Jim Davis, there is a Super League where I beat Jim Davis with Yargle. Which was one of my shining moments of the Super League era of Magic. But it was still a meme. Even then, it was still a meme. Well, wow, so many Blood Tithe Harvesters. That's not good. Yeah, we might be in trouble here. Opponent's just drawn a lot of Blood Tithe Harvesters and a lot of removal. I say it in a loving way. Oh no, this draw. Ugh, what a draw for Grixis. Just all the early game creatures, all the card draw. I mean, there's a reason this deck's been at the top of the meta for a while. Is there any context where Yargle, the new Yargle's good? Oh, so I believe you'd have to look it up. It exists on YouTube. It was. Does this make us dead? Yeah, we can't. That's right. All the mites can't block. Yeah, the mites were bad. Well, that was a really good draw, but the mites were bad that game. It was the team standard Super League when I was playing with Todd and Corbin, and all of our decks, like we had 6 decks, and if you lined up the decks names in the right order, it spelled out the words to like a Backstreet Boys song or something. You are my fire, my one desire. That one. So there's got to be a way to find that. I'd have to dig around on YouTube. I know it exists on YouTube somewhere, but Teen Standard Super League, that one, I believe was the one where I beat Jim with Yargle. So where could Yargle be good? Where could Yargle be good? Verizal. That's a tell me why. Verizal could be good. Like something to do with Scavenge, something to do with Fling. Do you know there's a black Fling? That's a card that I think people need to be aware of. Right of Consumption. If you're building a commander deck around the new Yargle, Right of Consumption gives you a Fling that is actually in your colors, which I think is a pretty big deal. Now, let's go Cankerblooms. Cankerblooms in Homestead Courage. I guess it's really good with Rot Priest, but otherwise doesn't seem that great. Let's try something like that. You could Corpse Explosion Yargle in the graveyard with a Stuffy Doll effect in play. Yes! Corpse Explosion, Phyrexian Vindicator. Got up. I was just talking to someone today, I think it was earlier this stream actually, we were talking about how Vindicator, there's no big payoff. There's no like There's no I win the game, 30 damage, 20 damage, blasphemous act type effect where it's like, oh, I do this, I play the Vindicator, I resolve the spell, I just win the game on the spot. Corpse Explosion, though. Corpse Explosion Yargle. That might be it. That might actually be it. We got to play this safe, I think. We got the March in hand, and double Venerated Rot Priest seems pretty good. Oh my god. Alright, never mind. We won't play it safe. We're just going to run out every Venerated Rot Priest. Pass the turn. Double Rot. No one beats double Rot Priest. No one beats double Rot Priest. Opponent plays a land. Opponent. Blood Tithe Harvester. Well, Ijano. And March of Burgeoning Life. Well, this is almost the combo kill here. March of Burgeoning Life. Pitch the Canker Bloom. Make some more Rot Priests. Poison ya a bit. Get another one. Oh, please cast your removal on our Rot Priest opponent. Please. Please, you can do it. It'll be fine. Show us a cut down. Show us a go for the throat. Opponent. Blood Tithe Harvester. Well, I guess we got to phase that out. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Rot Priestron Bestron in Standard. About it. Getting some poison counters. And plays another Blood Tithe Harvester. Gets another token. Any spell that targets is just like so. Oh my goodness, we did it. Well, go to combat. Swing with everything. This should be game, right? Or very close to it. If we swing out, they block one. Whatever one they block, we phase out. Opponent, gonna block. That's what you think. Yes! 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that looks like... that looks like game to me. Whoo, that was a very toxic kill. Just play Yargle, burn down the house and swing. I kind of wish... Yeah, that was a dirty win. Dirty poison win. I kind of wish Yargle was 20. 20 would be sweet. We need a 20 power creature. You know they're gonna pull it out at some point. What mana cost? Let's say Wizards wants to print. Oh, also on Yargle, only vanilla creature in standard. In standard. Who would have thought that after having literally no vanilla creatures in standard, Wizards finally adds one. It's not a grizzly bear. It's an 18/6 2-color rare Yargle and Mutani. So here's a question for you, chat. Wizards wants to print a 20 powered vanilla creature. What mana cost would actually make it playable in standard or in other formats? I'm curious about other formats as well. But what mana cost? Like, so I'm pretty convinced that we know that a 6 mana 40/40 body of research was not good enough. Pretty convinced that Yargle 18 power for 6 mana is not good enough. So a 20 power creature for 5 mana, would that be playable? Giganosaurus was what? 5 mana 10/10. I don't know. Would it be good? So do you think, let's say they print a 5 mana 20/20. Is that a standard all-star? Are we expecting that to be like Fable the Mirror Breaker, Shieldred, like one of the best cards in standard? I'm not convinced that it would be. I'm not convinced that it would. Hey, thank you, McIntyre. I don't know if it would be. It might have to be like 3 mana. 2 mana? Maybe 2 mana. Yeah, so Fling is kind of the issue. Fling, if you make it too efficient, then Fling's gonna make it really good. Yeah, we'll try this. Let's assume there's no Fling. Like, you actually have to win with it fairly. You have to attack. You have to attack and get in the combat damage. You can't just thud it or fling it or whatever. Okay, what about in older formats? Like in, let's say modern. We play a lot of modern. If you printed if there was a vanilla 3-mana 20/20 in modern, I am not convinced it would be playable. Like even I mean, maybe as a combo piece. Again, like things are weird once you get to the world of like we're casting flings and stuff in combo decks. Like once you get to that realm, then things look a little bit different. But played as an actual creature, I don't know if a 3-mana 20/20 would be good. I don't know if it would be playable. I don't know if, wow, boy. The lack of lands here is becoming a bit of an issue. We're just gonna die to Shieldrids and Pain Lands. Oh, you know, opponent double cut down. And Shieldred. And Invoke Despair, probably. Opponent passes. We don't even have a single poison counter. Yeah, this is so bad in so many ways. All right. Boom. Pass the turn. Shieldred going off. Yeah, Shieldred's really good. Commander 1-mana 21/21 haste legendary. Well, sure. Boom. Slip out the back, Shieldred. Untap. More slip out the backs. Go attacking. Hit ya. Wait. Hit ya. Experimental Augury. Oh, no! We whiffed on lands! Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, we were really counting on hitting a land there. Now Shoulder gets to smack us. Opponent. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the lack of lands was tough. I think if we could have hit a land there, I think we would have won. Oh, we're so close to getting on a platinum too. Okay, how about in standard, Hasunari Toad Rider to make Yargle unblockable? Okay. I mean, so I think the concern with standard is from a competitive perspective, from a like pro tour perspective or whatever, like trying to win tournament perspective, it's really tough to play a 6-mana thing that doesn't immediately generate value of some kind. So I think that's, you know, 1 land, 1 keep, I guess. So I think that's going to be the concern is when it comes down to it, it is a 6-drop that it's vanilla. It's got to untap. You got to have extra combo pieces or whatever to make it good. Oh god. Okay. Maybe we shouldn't have kept this. On second thought, Lovestruck Beast was effectively a vanilla 5/5 was still played outside of adventures. Opponent Blood Tithe Harvester. Oh, deck. Boy, we're going for the just Mana Screwtron over here. Opponent. I mean, I guess that's true. Although, part of what made Lovestruck Beast good is it was a 1-mana 1/1 and a 3-mana 5/5. It was... Where's our lands? Where's our lands? Where are the lands? Huh. Huh. What can we cut? Well, I guess Timer Stand is not good against Edicts. Grixis playing so many Edicts is pretty bad for us, actually. That makes life a lot harder. hot take time. When I started playing Magic, I thought all old border cards were garbage, but now I'm of the mind that old border is good in most forms, except multicolor. Multicolor old border cards are the worst set I come across in Magic. I'd rather play double feature cards than multicolor old border cards. Really, I love the old border multicolor. Rotting Registrar sees Legacy play. Huh? Really? Really? What is... I actually have to look this up now. Are people actually playing Rotting Registrar in Legacy? We will play first. What deck? All the pump spells, no creatures. What deck would people play Registrar in Legacy? Is it played as like a discard outlet? I can see that. If it's being played to discard stuff, that would make some amount of sense. Well, Spar headquarters, go. Really? All the old border haters. Well, Razorverge Thicket, and yeah, I guess we get down the Hive here. Making a thing each turn is kind of a form of protection. Yeah, I guess Henge did help quite a bit with the play. I mean, although Lovestruck Bees sees playing older formats, like that still shows not as much now that Mono Green Devotion is the hotness. Oh, did you see? How many of you watched the Pro Tour this weekend? We haven't really talked about the Pro Tour. We had a Pro Tour this weekend. It was Pioneer. There was a pretty, like, not great performance by Mono Green. There was a pretty, like, Mono Green was the second most played deck going in. Like, Rakdos was number 1. Mono Green Devotion was number 2. Neither one of those decks really dominated based on the results that we saw from the tournament. Like, neither one of them really dominated, and Mono Green, I think, didn't even make the top 8 at all. Now I'm thinking they're not going to ban that deck. I was thinking they were going to do the Pro Tour and then we're going to get bannings. I don't think it's happening. How was the coverage? I didn't really get to see the coverage because I was in Philly. So I got to see like tiny little bits and pieces here and there, but I didn't really get to watch it. I think I saw you in the command zone. You might have. I was in the command zone a bit Friday morning and then like late oh my God. Saturday night they shut down the venue, the main hall where I was playing in the free play area where like the main stage was. They shut it down at 7 o'clock for some reason. So I had to move over to the command zone room. I was like, yeah, I'll do one more game. I ended up playing literally a 4-hour commander game that went to like 11 o'clock at night. It was a long one. It was a long one. Someone was playing, there were some pretty cool decks that people played, commander decks. Someone was playing a mono green like Shigeki lock deck, which was ridiculous. Someone was playing Joda Banding, which was also interesting. I think from what I've seen from the Pro Tour, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged about where we're at with the Pro Tour. Got like 30,000 viewers, which isn't record breaking, but compared to where we were at with the MPL, I think that sends a really big message that there's an audience there to watch Paper Magic. Like, people do care about this. Like, older formats in paper, there's something there for Wizards to build off of. I think we talked about it the stream before Philly, before I left for Philly. We talked about what would make this a success, and I think we landed on like 20K was a minimum, and hopefully it'll be more like 30K plus. And it got to 30,000 on Twitch. The meta looked good. Like, Reed Duke won it. We got to see new faces. This is what blew my mind. If you watch the Pro Tour, you probably heard this, but so oh no, what's his name? Madsen? I want to say Madsen, but I'm probably butchering it. But the person who lost in the finals was a relatively new player. Lost to Reed Duke in the finals. He went 8-0 on day 1. He qualified He qualified playing Arena on his phone. Not just playing Arena, like that's not really notable. On his phone. Could you imagine? So I haven't played much Arena on my phone. Can you actually imagine playing a qualifier for a really high value like Pro Tour event on your phone? Oh, that blew my mind. I could not believe. Yes, seems miserable. We are not getting anywhere against this deck. I mean, we're also running pretty cruddy, but yeah, that definitely shocked me. I did not think. I mean, I guess that's 2023 Magic. Yeah, that was a thing. Like, just like the consistency of the app, like misclicks, freezes, crashes. I would not want to sit down and try to play a qualifier on my phone. Not a chance. Super impressive though. He was also, I got to catch a little bit of the finals, and he was fun to watch play. Just very talkative. It was funny against Reed. Reed is very stoic and serious, and yeah, and he's just like talking. You can see the difference in play styles. You only play on your phone. Do you find it hard? 0 and 1 buy? Mr. Hillary, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Just got to Mythic on Arena, and the Goldfish podcast is what got me back into Magic. Hey, that's awesome. Well, congrats on hitting Mythic. What deck were you playing? All right, we gotta get a win. We're on the draw. Apparently our deck. Ooh, all right, that's some spice. Vial of Rebirth. That is some spice, as far as headquarters go. Oh no, is this Sacrifice? Sacrifice might be tough. You know what? If you wanna ban something in Standard, maybe the card you ban is Blood Tithe Harvester. I feel like Blood Tithe Harvester is the card that holds together so many of these decks. Like, if Blood Tithe Harvester wasn't around, would any of this actually be a problem? Would it actually be a thing? I don't actually know. I'm not sure. Like, I feel like Blood Tithe Harvester does not get as much credit for what it does in the 2-drop slot. More Vat of Rebirth. We make a dork. We play a land. This deck also feels clunky. I gotta say, today's stream has not sold me on Toxic in Standard. I'm gonna say not sold. Not sold at all. I mean, Fable's definitely busted. It's also 3 mana. Opponent, pile of triggers. And a dork, and draws a card. And plays a land. Goes attacking. Okay, I guess we take it. Opponent passes. Well, you have my Coast. Counter on the dork. Go attacking. We are never gonna get through these these chump blockers. Opponent just has infinite chump blockers. And a trigger and a trigger. Well, it's cool to see Vat of Rebirth. That's cool. Opponent. Green-white Toxic is better. I'm not convinced that Toxic is good, period, now. I mean, we've gotten some okay wins, but it seems like overall they, like... And I don't know if it's toxic as much as it is just not a very good format to try to be an aggro deck. Arguably an impossible format to try to be an aggro deck. I mean, it's got to be a Trox, I assume. Seems like that's the thing. If you're going to cheat something into play, it is always a Troxa. Opponent. Vat of Rebirth, getting counters. Owning all Anvil, doing things. Whoever said Skrelv's Hive wasn't doing it is... Okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. Skrelv's Hive is not just winning his games. So my argument for Blood Tithe is it's a 2-drop. I mean, I don't think anything needs to be banned in Standard. It just goes back to what we were talking about earlier. But at least Fable and Mirror Maker, it is monocolored, which is probably the biggest upside. But I think that being a 2-drop is a pretty big deal. What do these decks play if you don't have Blood Tithe Harvester? I feel like the next, for a deck like this, the next 2-drop, what are you gonna play? Razor Lash Transmogrant? Like, you're gonna get wrecked. You're gonna get run over by aggro or whatever. Like, it's just so... the card is so good. Like, it's a 2-mana 3/2, so it's way above the curve stats. It's also a removal spell, and then it's also a card filtering spell. This is another card everyone missed during spoiler season, but it's a really, really just like kind of super duper above the curve in like 3 different ways or 4 different ways card, like in so many different ways. Misery Shadow just dies though. Like, it's fine. It's not a bad card if you want to go beatdowns, but it doesn't like, even if Blood Tithe Harvester dies, it's already generated a decent amount of value. Like, you've already gotten half of your investment back just in getting the blood token that lets you loot so you never miss a land drop, so you fill your graveyard so you can reanimate a drop. Like, whatever you're doing. Tenacious Underdog is a pretty good one. That one's a pretty good one. Wow, this deck just can't beat the one of the best decks in the format. Well, maybe it's good that Toxic is bad. Maybe that's a good life lesson. Well, Lauren in. We need to sideboard faster. Canker Bloom in. Homestead Courage. Why are you in our deck? I mean, the funny thing is, the ways we've actually won with this deck has just been by being a Rot Priest deck. Like, our wins have not been by being like some curve out aggro deck. It's by like Rot Priest comboing. Have I tried green-white enchantments with Elish Norn? I have not. What are the best enchantments to play with? I mean, you get the like removal enchantments. Are there other enchantments that work well with Elish Norn in Standard? I do love me some Elish Norn. I really try not to play toxic quote-unquote cards in Commander. I'm too nice. Maybe I'm too nice in Commander. I don't even play Blood Moon in Commander. What do you think of there being over 1,000 cards in sets now? Kind of ridiculous. I mean, it is actually kind of ridiculous. Are we actually killing a blood token? That feels weird. Yeah, we'll kill the vat, I guess. Pass the turn. I do miss blocks. I think there's a lot of upside in blocks. Although it seems like maybe Wizards has like kind of partly figured this out at least. Wow, is Skrelv's Hive just bad? I feel like we keep getting wrecked by 2/2s. Like, someone plays a Blood Tithe Harvester or Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and Skrelv's Hive just does nothing for the entire game, which is not great. Ugh. Oh, I thought it was gonna be so good about it. Goes attacking. Oh, this is so rough. Well, I mean, I guess we block a Blood Tithe Harvester. I guess we let you draw Sheoldred. Because we're desperate. Wow. I actually think Golgari was better. Out of the 2 decks we played today. Oh, so many Blood Tithe Harvesters. We can't beat it. We can't beat it. Out of the 2 Toxic decks we played, I think that maybe... This has just convinced me that Skrelv's Hive is as horrible as I thought. Whew, wow, is it bad. I think the aggro control, I mean, I think that like proliferate control, I think can be a pretty interesting archetype. Yeah, we're just, wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Interesting. So what do we learn about, Toxic? So we did win some games. I don't want to diminish our winning of games. We won some games with both decks. I will say I was not especially impressed with either of these decks. So I don't think the problem is these decks in specific. Like, I'm sure these decks could be improved, but really my takeaway is it is just not a format where you can play aggro decks. Hey, what's up, Cornelius? How are you? I don't think you can play aggro decks. So we played Golgari. What were the takeaways? Because one of the things we've talked about many times, if your deck doesn't go well, try to learn something from it. Like, win or lose, have fun every single time, whether you're winning or losing, and learn something you can play to other decks. So what did we learn from Golgari Toxic? So the build was a little bit jank, but this was our first big experience playing with Tyver. Tyver was actually pretty sweet. You got to build around it. You got to play a lot of 2-drops, preferably sackable 2-drops. But a lot of our wins came from like Cankerblurm, proliferate, Tyver, get it back, proliferate, get it back, proliferate. So Tyver, I think, is actually really sweet here. Tyver kind of was the big takeaway. The archetype, though, I like how it could grind more. This actually had the ability to go long. Maybe some sort of like hybrid proliferate control / Golgari Toxic could be the way to go. Maybe there's some middle ground there where you play some more proliferate stuff, get some of the blue cards, and they're like Sultai proliferate control. I think that might be a cool direction. As far as Bant Toxic, we had some like super sweet Rot Priest wins, but I came away from this one feeling like Skrelv's Hive was real bad. Like, this one kind of surprised me with how bad it was. I thought it was going to be not great, but the fact that the mites couldn't block and that there's so many Fable the Mirror Breakers and Blood Tithe Harvesters, we were playing this on turn 2 consistently, even on the play, and it was just not dealing a single poison counter, not a single one, because our opponent would have a 2/2, we just couldn't attack through it. Like, our opponent would just play a Fable the Mirror Breaker token, and all of a sudden, this is just like making us lose life, making us lose life, making us lose life, and then all of a sudden we're dead. So I think good news about this deck. Hey, what's up, Ario? Good news about the deck. Venerated Rot Priest can still do some things. Like, that was very impressive. Just the Venerated Rot Priest being able to combo off and do really, really big splashy things. But overall, I don't know. Maybe we'll definitely do some more toxicking at some point in the future. But for now, my overall impression is Toxic as a like aggro creature deck might not be in that great of a place in Standard, but you need something to buff the mites on turn 1 or 3. I did see the Lord of the Realms, Lord of the Realms, good game. I don't know, do you ever play Lord of the Realms? We're getting so sidetracked at the end of the stream. Lord of the Realms, look it up. It's like a 90s, super old computer game where you're like running a castle and taking over the world. It's actually pretty fun. I don't know if it's still fun, but it used to be fun back in the day. The Might General, yeah, maybe we gotta build around. Maybe we got to build around the mites more. We'll definitely try some more toxicking in the future. I will promise you that. Food time. It's a burger, brioche bun made from scratch, light layer of shredded lettuce, iceberg lettuce, sharp cheddar cheese, buffalo meat burger with seasoning, salt, pepper, Worcester sauce. Gonna test it out, see how I like it. Hope it's good. I haven't had buffalo since 2017. Ooh, that sounds delicious, Magikarp. Good luck with the burger. On that note, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our Super Toxic Tuesday stream. We will be back on Thursday with another stream. In the meantime, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. Check out Modern Elish Norn for tomorrow's Against the Odds. It's super sweet. And one more reminder that our sponsor sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Even get a free goldfish ticker. And if you got sweet decks that you want to try, you all sent me so many sweet decks today. Send me an email so I got a hard copy of the list. Maybe we'll try them for a future stream. And we'll also get another Veer Battle stream on the schedule before too long. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome and spectacular, and I love you all so much. I hope you have an amazing night. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you on Thursday for some more fun. So until then, everyone, have a good one, and I will talk to you soon.